All right, I'm back. It's been like a month since me and Ricky streamed. I just didn't have it in me. Didn't have it in me, but I saw this guy's art, Marinus's campaign for Gemini Crusaders. I don't know anything about this. I just saw the art, so I'm going to learn with y'all, the audience,
Yeah.
and pick his brain. And his co-writer Dave Feet, who I was just telling, like, I'm aware of you. I have not backed you because I haven't had the money, but your stuff looks cool. And then y'all are together, so it's like sweet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, you're all right, man. But yeah, I'm a little rusty. It's been like a month since I've streamed. But yeah, tell us who you are, and then we'll get into your y'all's campaign.
Yeah. Well, my name is Marinus. I'm Dutch, and I'm, let's say, into crowdfunding comics. Let's say 5 years or so. I believe I came 5 years ago, 6 years ago to X, and the reason for that is that I wanted to, meet people, like-minded people like me, because we're in my area, the comic scene is very, it's not really there, and I. Reading comics, mostly American comics, but also Dutch versions, since I was 7 or something. But then around 2016, I just quit comics years ago because I was tired of the medium. Well, no, let me rephrase that. It's not really the medium, but more. I was done with Marvel and DC. I didn't like that anymore, right? But I always kept up, and comics was still a part of me. And then I came to X, and then I met all of these great people that they are just like me, and they're making comics and crowdfunding comics. It was a little bit new to me. I mean, I knew crowdfunding comics was a thing, but I didn't know how big it was and where do you need to go and how it all works, etc. So, and then through the years, I met with David. I mean, we know each other for 3-4 years now, maybe a little bit more,
Yeah.
something around. And then we hooked up, and I read some comics of David. And 2 years ago, I was co-writer on a comic, Blackheart Manor. It was more like an oversized magazine-style black and white horror comic, and I had a lot of fun doing that. And then I decided to do it myself. And 2 years later, and this Gemini Crusader thing just started. And basically, David Feed approached me because the story was completely different, and I didn't know what kind of direction I wanted to go. So I just left it, and then came back, rewrite it, and then David read my script, and he says, "Well, maybe you can elaborate, David, how it all went down." Then.
I mean, yeah, we were talking, in chats and stuff, and you had like 3 different scripts, and I read the one from Gemini Crusaders, and I was like, oh my god, this is it. This is the one. Like, we were also in talks with another guy to do like between the 3 of us a comic, but which we should do that, by the way, as well. But anyway, definitely this Gemini Crusader caught my attention because it was original, it was unique. I mean, as you can see, the images, they're pretty bizarre, and it's not the typical kaiju mech story. It's like something different. I was like, yeah, this is the one. You should definitely put all your attention into this one, and I want to help you, and let me jump in and let's do it together. And in between the 2 of us, it's easier. That's how I jumped in. Of course, I mean, Marinus is the creator, he's a writer, he's a copyright holder. There's no like crazy 50-50 shenanigans, and then the project goes to shit. Like, no. It's all clear. It's professional around here.
Yeah, I mean, David helped me a lot with the certain direction, and because he fulfilled, 4 comics now, 5th with the hardcover.
3 comics. I'm on the 4th now, campaigning for 3.
Exactly. So we really bouncing off each other with ideas and throwing it around, and then luckily we got in mostly in one go the artist Sid Tellis. He's Brazilian. And I said, hey, I got this idea. Just here's a page. Can you just make something and see what is going? And the first page, he sent it to us and said, yeah, that's it. Let's hire him. I was blown away, man. This art is fantastic. It's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We
that's
saw
it's
him
how
on
we
Art
get started.
Station, I think, that he was
Yeah.
showing some pages and they looked a little bit like Western, but really,
Right.
really well done, super detailed. Like the horses, the backgrounds, everything was crisp. And I was like, yeah, this guy is good. And
Yeah.
then, but he really did blow our minds with his designs for the monster and
Yeah, it was
how he
crazy.
was getting what we were trying
Right.
to convey.
I love the energy y'all seem to gel really well. Have y'all ever like linked up in person?
Yeah.
And no,
What do you
in
mean?
person, no, not yet.
Oh, like that. You know,
I mean,
no,
like
no, I mean,
live in the same room, no, not yet.
no, no.
Okay.
No,
No, it's funny because it's funny how like this scene has got y'all to be buddies for a few. So that's me and Rookie's story. We're from the Star Wars side of the internet. Phantom
okay.
Menace. That's how we got into Comicsgate and EVS and
Right.
stuff was through the Star Wars, and we've been friends for like 7 years now, Rookie.
Yep.
Right. I mean, it's weird, right? That
Crazy.
you actually, well, weird. It's not really weird, but meeting people, like-minded people, and then become real friends, right? It's and then because David is in Switzerland and I'm in the Netherlands, so that's hours and hours away. But there's going to be a day, and probably maybe this year or next year we're going to meet up, right? For real.
We should definitely do that. Yes.
And the other one is from the UK, and yeah, like that. So, but yeah, oops, there goes my camera. Sorry. Crazy stuff, technology, right? Yeah, but it's great to meet people that is living across the world. It's fantastic. Yeah.
It's kind of cool that we live how to say, the European community, the independent comics European community is like a little bit like a niche in and of itself.
Yeah.
It's like I think that another thing that connects us is that we're in the same time zone. Like when America's prime time is like 3 in the morning for us.
Exactly. I mean, how late is it at your place right now? Is it in the morning or
9:20 p.m.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's funny because when I was younger, it's crazy. It's like 12 years ago now. But when I was deployed to Afghanistan, and I had like a night shift, like an overnight shift for guard duty. So it's like half of it was like radio guy in case like people needed something at whatever spot on the base, because it's big enough to need like walkies. And it kind of worked out because I'd get like the cafeteria, not the cafeteria, but the like the rec center. I'd get that to myself, usually at an overnight, with the computers and shit. So didn't have to worry about sharing time limits or anything.
Right.
And if I wanted to like call back home, it was like perfect because it's like 2 a.m. here, but it's like 6 at night. It was something like that. Some kind of time zone where it's like it pretty much worked out where it's like I could end my shift or before the shift started, call over back to America. Everyone's off work, so it's funny how time zones work and trying to make it work across the world. I've had my own experience.
Yeah, we're a little bit well, I'm not sure accustomed, but a lot of people is around your time zone, and we are a little bit prepared for that. But still, it's early.
It's just
Here, right? Yeah.
Oh, I totally get it, man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
What so it's funny because like I'll like browse once in a while when I get the mind for it, I'll browse like Kickstarter.
Right.
Indiegogo sucks as far as browsing, in my opinion.
It's terrible.
But Kickstarter, pretty good search system, and they kind of randomize it, so you never know what you're going to see exactly. And yeah, I've seen some of these niche European comics. Like y'all got a wacky world over there.
Yeah.
In a good way. It's like a lot of variety and creativity. Before like the MCU movies like blew up globally.
Yeah.
What are y'all reading over there? As far as mainstream, or like what's y'all's mainstream market like?
The mainstream market, I mean, in my area is French, Belgium, UK, kind of books that is probably the most popular, all Dutch translated, by the way. But there is where the most European comics coming from, and you have science fiction, you have a lot of fantasy. It's a very unique, or let's say different. While American comics is more on a weekly basis, European comics is mostly you get one book per year or 2 years or something, because the artist or the creator is working on that book for that period of time, and there's a lot of them, so the publishers give them, said, hey, you get 1 year or 2 years to complete the book, and it's mostly in softcover, oversized A4 or bigger, and in the hardcover. You don't have softcover, you don't have weekly comics. So, but since there's so many to choose from, and we don't have floppy styles books. Mostly we have all oversized and big and hardcovers. That's mostly the big thing. How is it with you, David? Is that about the same?
That is about the same. Yeah. I mean, we have more like the Swiss comics, of course. Asterix and Obelix is pretty.
Oh yeah, that too.
Huge in Switzerland. But yeah, it's like the thing is like, I don't know, like huge, right?
Right.
And usually one a year. It's a hardcover. It has like, I don't know, 200 pages or 100 pages, whatever. They're big. Yeah. And of course, also manga. Manga is huge in Switzerland, especially like in the French part. Like Switzerland is like kind of divided. It's a super small, but it's divided in 4 parts, and one of them is French. And in the French part, like manga is huge. Like you go to a comic store, it's all manga, right? Yeah. There's like maybe like one shelf with American stuff and 2 shelves with the European stuff, and the rest like manga. Not like it's incredible how popular that is in the French part.
Yeah, if I may a recommendation, we had a UK comic. I didn't know, well, it was UK or that the artist was from the UK. It's called Don Lawrence, and he created a character called Storm, and he was an astronaut, and he flew in the moon of Jupiter, and then he been catapulted, like Buck Rogers, but then instead to the future, to a weird past where, well, also a future where the future was gone, but there was remnants of modern, like planes and boats, but then it was a cultural barbarian-esque civilization that also has a lot of science fiction. It's a mismatch of different ideas, and it works so good. And Don Lawrence is a painter, and his style is it's beautiful. If you look it up, Storm, Don Lawrence, and you see his art has been blown away. And I was really immersed in that, because he went from basically a place that is totally different from the place that in the last book or something. So every book has a new, completely adventure, a new environment, new people, and new creatures. You have some kind of a prince who walks around half naked. He loves to be half naked, and he has a red skin. He looks like a black man, but he's red skin, and it's so hilarious. Yeah, he has all. And he's from royalty. It's so weird. It's crazy. It looks amazing.
Kind of like a Conan.
I'm sorry?
Is it kind of like Conan? I'm looking up this guy's art.
Yeah, but since the fun fact is that Storm, who is coming from our world, he recognizes all of these relics basically, and he explains it to his companions. He has also a chick barbarian with red hair called Red Hair. Pretty simple. Yeah, let's call it Red Hair. Right? And it's never really been established that they are to an item, but because they are mostly companions to try to survive the world. And she becoming from a barbarian chick, basically because of Storm, explaining from, hey, this is a plane, and then we used to fly that in the sky. And she looks at him like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? It's impossible. Stuff like that. And she becoming a little bit more knowledgeable about all these relics. And it's quite an adventure. Unfortunately, he died years ago because, well, he was sick, and his son didn't, wanted to become an artist. So somebody else has took over, and still good, but it's totally different, right? Yeah. So read a lot of Storm comics. Fantastic.
No, it's interesting to, because you go to comic store every week, new stuff on the racks. You got like they're at least putting out 20.
It's a huge oversaturation, basically.
I guess you could argue that, I guess, but
well, I mean, it's like you have a plentiful amount of choices. There's not like a few. There's tons.
Yeah. No, it's definitely overwhelming. I didn't grow up with comics. Like, I grew up with the cartoons, but I never saw a comic store. I don't think I ever saw them on TV. It was just like something I was unaware of when I was in the Army. I started playing Magic. Like, there was a store like right outside the gate to the base, and so that's how I became aware of comics. I'm like, oh, Spawn. Oh shit, I always loved that movie as a kid. It's a bad movie, but Spawn's so cool. Spawn's so cool. I watched the cartoons too.
Yeah.
The cartoons are awesome. And it's funny, just like a funny little. You ever have those moments where you're like, you always couldn't understand something when you're younger, and then it like finally clicks what you were looking at or what was said. Jokes like in Shrek or something, right? Oh, that's why that's funny.
Yeah.
Compensating. Yep.
When I was a kid, because I love Spawn, and we had this kind of like Blockbuster, but it was like Blockbuster mixed with Hot Topic mixed with Books A Million. It was this chain in the Southwest where I'm originally from. It's called Hastings. It was awesome. And we'd go there or Blockbuster to rent movies. And got Spawn and found one like the Spawn 2 or something, a comic, like a cartoon. And I'm like, oh, sweet. And at one point there's a scene where he's like in a strip club or something. And so there's like naked chicks, but the chick was naked, but she had pasties on. And I remember I was just staring at her the whole time because I couldn't like figure out. Like, I knew generally the difference of men and women, shape and stuff, but I like could not figure out. I could not figure out what I was looking at. It made no sense. And then I got older. I'm like, oh, that was pasty. Okay, like.
were wild back in the day, man. It was I'm not saying it's uncensored, but a lot of things could have happened. What today's standards cannot be done anymore. It's crazy. I mean, how good we had with cartoons back in the day. With the, I grew up with the He-Mans and the Transformers and so, and then I watched indeed the animated series of superheroes, which I find, especially the Superman series. Or the Batman was fantastic. Oh man, I love that so much. But we also had a lot of access to animation. Like Akira and those over the top, very mature manga. That I thought, dude, what is this? All these naked women and blood and guts and exploding bodies. It's crazy. Yeah.
I remember when I saw Ninja Scroll, I was like,
oh, dude,
hell, that was hardcore.
I need to watch that again. Yeah, I'm a sucker for nostalgia somehow.
Yeah, y'all are enlightening me, just new things to look into that I've never heard of. My knowledge of anime and manga is very infinitesimal. I love Attack on Titan, the show. Don't know how it compares to reading it, but
so good.
The show is just amazing. Like, I put up there with Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad. Like, it's just a top show, period. But watched a little bit of Dragon Ball with Rookie, and I started the show on Amazon. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called like Ubenblot.
Ubenblot. Yeah. I heard of it. I never saw it or read it, but I heard about the manga. Yeah.
Oh man, it is crazy because like I was trying to explain. I've only watched 2 episodes so far, and I was trying to explain what I saw to Rookie, and it's like I'm giving like a PhD dissertation basically on all these complexities just to explain the basics of the plot. Where I'm like, where is this show? I have no idea where it's going. We're in for a ride, whatever the hell this is. So I do.
The fun, sorry for interrupting, by the way, the fun part of manga is there's a very easy entry. There's just a number 1 and there starts it all, and then it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You don't have to go back 20 years ago to like a Superman or Batman comic to all of these details and villains, etc. No, it always starts with number 1, and that's the base. There's no reimagining or
Retconning or
retconning.
alternative
No, it's not.
universe or like
That's it.
this run is like.
Yeah, and I believe Uberblatt, it's German, right?
I'm guessing so.
I don't know
it's
the
exactly.
comic, to be honest.
Pretty sure it's got an umlaut, so that was my guess.
Yeah, Uber. Yeah.
I took a little bit of German in college, so I have like a little taste of it. I can kind of piece out some things here and there.
I love Germany. I live, let's say, 30 minutes from the border, and food is great, by the way.
Oh yeah, I love. Well, I've not had authentic, but closest you can get in America, besides like an import and immigrant, would be down in Texas. Surprisingly, they had a lot of German immigrants move to Texas in the 1800s. So there's this place down there around San Antonio called New Braunfels. So if you're ever in America and go to Texas, go to New Braunfels. That's probably the best American German food you'll get.
Cool.
Yeah, so Jaeger Schnitzel, at least the American version I've had. Love Jaeger Schnitzel. Love like the mustardy potatoes. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm a big mustard guy. They're definitely in my Euro mix, whatever the white in me is, because I'm like 50-50, black white. I definitely have to have some German in me.
And yet you have a UK Black Angus logo, it's also, so you have a little bit European interest, I see.
Oh yeah, I'm very
if I remember. Yeah
I feel like just talk to me, you're like, what a great white man this guy is, and then it's like, wait, you're half black, what the hell? Yeah, I'm very white tempered, I guess. It's just how I grew up. I grew up over. I don't know how it is over there when you got like variety of people coming in or something, but yeah, in America, there's kind of like an expectation with behavior and taste when you're not white, and so it's like I just live among all these white people in Ohio, but then it's more of like, oh yeah, I am not, fully white, and so I think it shocks some people. So like I'm always kind of reminded by the environment of like what they're expecting.
So what is then the expectation? How does that come across? I mean, are they really telling you or something, or is it?
It'll just come up randomly, like off of like interest, because like I don't know anything like new rap, just anything. Black culture is just basically foreign to me, because I grew up with it wasn't around my dad is, I guess you would say, white too. Like his family, I didn't really have contact with much because he was in the military and he moved and stuff. So they were just kind of foreign to me. And then they divorced. So I was just with my white mom and stepdad, and he's white. So it's just a funny thing when talking to Europeans where it's like, oh, this is like a factor, I guess, that you might become aware of, or it might seem strange because I don't know how it is over there, especially like you're Dave in Switzerland. And you're saying there's like 4 basically quadrants culturally. You said there's like French, right?
Right. It's like the French part, the Italian part, the German part, and there's like a small old Latin weird language part, but I don't even know what that is. It's just like a small part in it. Yeah, no, I mean, the environment does inform you a little bit of things. Like I'm half Mexican, half Swiss, but I grew up in.
How did that happen? Is that tied to World War II or something?
Oh no, what could it be? My mom went to Mexico to learn Spanish, and she met my dad, and then she just stayed there. So, and then I was born eventually. Yeah, and that's how I came about.
That is interesting. There was like a short-lived magazine before I joined the Army when I was out of high school called Bound by Ink, and of course, like the covers always got like some hot tattoo slut. And this is before Instagram really popped off, before Twitter became like a major, everyone's using it. Facebook started kind of getting censored and weird. So you didn't have like mass exposure to like, hey, here's an OnlyFans poster, here's her butthole. Like we're in a totally new age now. So yeah, you had to get like print or, go to like an adult store to find any of this kind of, so tattoo magazines, Maxim, that kind of stuff was cool. And, one of the first issues was this chick, it's like Esther Hanuka, I think her name was, and she was like, I think Jewish and Argentinian. It was like a weird mix, and even though she would like paint, make up her fake eyelashes, she just had like, I was taken aback by her because she had like 3 kids, but she had like a cheerleader body still, and it was just like, okay, this chick really put the work in. And just cool to read some of these interviews by these artists. Some of them would be models, some of them would be actual like artists and stuff, not just tattoo artists, but actual painters and stuff. And it's like a weird alt life stuff that fascinated me at the time, kind of like concerts and stuff that scene I was kind of dabbled in before I got into the factory work and sticking it out. But yeah. It's just,
I guess you gotta be like a super good artist to be a tattoo artist, like,
oh yeah,
you don't want to go to someone and say, yeah, well, I want this, a really cool design, and comes to some garbage.
Yeah.
It's permanent. What the hell?
A lot of training on bananas from what I hear.
Is that how it works?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, apparently bananas have a similar texture for like tattooing like human skin. The delicacy to like, it's a fairly accessible, that or like, I guess getting like pieces of pig or something that still got the skin. You could test on that too, I guess.
Oh, well, that'd be...
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, I've heard of banana, and then I think pig chunks you can tattoo test on. So, and of course, friends that are just like, oh, whatever, I get a free shitty tattoo.
Right? Yeah, that I can understand.
Oh, I'm drunk. Let's get a tattoo.
Yes.
Also, another great school. This might be kind of foreign to y'all, but another great school for the tattoo artist is prison. We got so many prisons in America, so many prisoners. So there's if you can't afford school, you can maybe afford prison.
I only see that in movies. We don't have that here,
Yeah, I know.
With tattoo artists and sketching all the time. I said, is this only in America? Where is this?
Yeah, that's
yeah. Sometimes
in Switzerland, the prisons are almost like a hotel, and like some criminals come here and they're like, yeah, if I get caught, I don't care because I'll go to prison, and prison is like I get the internet and a library and I can go work up, and they even get to learn like a job in prisons in Switzerland.
Yeah, I think in Denmark they have like a 20-year max even for murderers. But they actually like, I don't know. It's funny because we're in America, so you see documentaries, see inside and stuff. You can watch it from the prisoner's view. You can watch it from the guard's view and whatnot, or just like talk about it socially and the impact and how it spills back into gang life and the cyclical nature of criminality in this country.
Yeah, it's like a little store, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of them are privatized, and they basically are like a great market for slave labor for like telemarketing and other dumb shit. So yeah, I don't know. I'm in a weird position because like classically, like being conservative America, it's like, yeah, screw prisoners, screw criminals, throw them in jail. But then it's like, yeah, the system we got doesn't help. It only like it's privatized, so their business is having prisoners, so they want you to stay a prisoner so they get money off of you being in there, because the government will like pay them subsidies, and they can also pimp them out if they're good behavior people to work like for like $10 an hour.
Yeah.
So
oh my god.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, I didn't know it was like that, but now that you say it, it makes a totally sense. Well, we have now the modern day open border stuff, which that's crazy, man. I mean, that's coming flooding in, and certain parts. I mean, we have governments, or Bürgermeisters. I'm not sure how you say that in American and English, but they get if you are in a town, it gets subsidized by the government, saying, hey, you need to get as much as immigrants as possible. You get a lot of money for that. So it's crazy. Totally not compared to prison, but still, I recognize some of the practices. Yeah.
So I'll be catching up with y'all in the chat. I'm just really enjoying this like foreign exchange basically we're having, as
Cool.
I don't get to talk to many Europeans besides maybe some UK people. That's easy for Americans, but Dutch and Swiss Mexicans, this is interesting.
Yeah. No, it is also like the for example, in here the prison system is super lenient. Like you get, it would be a miracle if you land up in jail. Like you can do some hardcore shit, and you're like, yeah, it's just 2 years in what do you call this, provisional stuff. Like you're basically free, but you better behave and stuff like that.
Yeah, or do some community work. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, at the most, right?
Yeah. Well, it's funny you got me on that tangent because, like, yeah, no, I definitely think about, well, if I just like ran my car into a building, I can go to jail, take a break from like paying bills and stuff, three hots in a cot, It's not the worst thing. It's stable to some degree. You routine. You're not really thinking about, you're not juggling problems in life. It's just like. Right. I'm in my box. I get an hour of free time. I get the cafeteria, and hopefully, I don't get shanked.
Right? Yeah,
pretty simple.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Downside.
Well, if you come to Europe, you'll be standing out, out of the gate in no time. They want you out.
Yeah, they put you on a farm and get you wood shopping and whatnot.
Yeah, you do some community services, and
you'll learn a job or something.
Yeah, I might immigrate over there and burn a church down or something so I can.
You just plead crazy, or and that's okay. And said, I didn't know I couldn't do that. Right? It's in my code. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Just burn down. Why not? It's so weird. Criminals are being protected, I think, sometimes.
Oh no, definitely. We in the little surface level that we ever really engage here in America, we're definitely aware of the shortcomings of y'all's international dealings and stuff. It definitely makes our awareness with the immigration and stuff, that's like probably front and center. Y'all collectively in West Europe being an example of failed state by our view with that problem.
I don't know. Like it's good to take in a little bit. Why not multiculturalism and what have you? But like this completely uncontrolled, like just more and more. It's like, dude, you gotta give us some time to, like integrate and learn the language and what have you.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. Is like, I watch some what the normie that would come across be like, oh, that's white supremacy. So it's like, well, it's actually way more nuanced, but sure, whatever. I'm not that. Obviously, I'm mixed. I just by de facto can't be that, but they make some good arguments about some stuff. And my position, especially being a student, always trying to learn more about Rome and Greece. That's like my favorite era. Is like there's like obviously from what the scraps we have from history of like philosophers and stuff, the writings, there was, at least in Greece, an idea of like, we are Greek, you are not. But also with Alexander, there was this integration attempt, this globalist integration attempt that he kind of pioneered, that testing the boundaries of how to expand with different cultures and stuff. But Rome, I think, really figured it out, because it's like, hey, like, yeah, we're like from Latium and stuff, and we take over Italy and we start fighting Carthage, and now we start expanding into Macedon and Gaul and Spain, whatnot. Right. And so they become, just by de facto, international, diverse culturally, ethnically. But they had like the state religion of Rome, and it's like, you're on my team or we're going to kill you, or go the fuck away. That's what Europe is missing now. You're missing the integrations. Like, are you on my team? What is your sign of loyalty? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I'm totally, I don't care about race really. It usually is a factor. It is like a baseline for other extenuating circumstances and temperaments and beliefs. It is kind of like, oh, you're Arab, you're probably Muslim, you probably have this temperament, etc. You're Spanish,
Yeah.
whatever. But it doesn't have to be if people want to get on board. And that's where Europe failed so far. Is not forcing some sense of allegiance, some sense of integration.
Yeah, I don't know what went wrong with. I thought when UK went out of Europe because they wanted to get out, I thought they would control their own, civilization, their own borders, etc. But they went completely opposite. They said, "Hey, more immigrants," and now I'm glad I'm not living in the UK. It's crazy what's going on there. So I was very shocked by that, by the way. And what I like about American culture is that they, the patriotism. We don't have that. I mean, we are proud of our country, but somehow people don't have that patriotic feel. And I wish we had that a little bit more, right? Culture, because our culture is slowly getting shifted or pushed away because modern sensibilities and all that crap.
I would say it's like, if you want to look at modernity's problems wherever you're at in like Western civilization, it really comes down, especially for Europe, because you're like the heartland of this. It's Mustache Man, it's Hitler. That happened. That was him and Mussolini were the culmination of racial nationalism for the different pockets of Europe, and they lost. And so everyone for 80 years now has been rebelling. Because it's like, never again. We can't do that. Again. Oh no! It feels it's giving off Hitler. I don't, and so they're so scared of that shadow, and so that's what's dictated every move politically for the Western world is this fear mongering. Yes. And now it's like the decay is happening again in various factors, and so it's starting to bubble up. Instead of like being rational, we're so scared. And so this is how you get Mussolini taking Ethiopia and stuff, and Japan. This is how you get this like fervent nationalism and fascism, is when you're not rational. And so you get like a total whip back. It's like Planet of the Apes, it's a pendulum. Yeah, and so if you're not like trying to like keep it center, it's just going to fucking jerk back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Absolutely. Yes.
Agree.
So yeah, you really got to keep. I figured that out. I'm starting to learn about World War One, and I'm starting to learn why we don't learn about World War One, because it's like, oh, that's why World War Two happened, And so yeah, it's like, no, it wasn't just out of the blue. This was building up for a reason, and now it's all starting to make sense. Learning history is like the worst thing for government. So people start learning history, especially how we're all interconnected and how this factor.
Like, wait a minute.
what does Manchuria got to matter for America? It's like FDR's paying attention. Maybe the public should have. Like.
Yeah, we are ahead of interesting times.
So this Gaza thing, not even for that specific little chunk of land and whatever's going to happen to it.
Yeah.
There's this whole big economic initiative, I think it's called Belt and Road, where they're trying to make basically a new Silk Road from China, India, all the way to the Middle East and somehow into Europe. So this is why this matters. The players involved, Iran, Russia. I know like the surface level of this stuff, but like I'm already seeing like this little patch of dirt, what happens really matters for the next 500 years possibly.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I was like, why are they always fighting over that?
Yeah. Also, we've all the powers that be collectivizing to like play nice and just, hey, that's your little border, and we're all just going to stay in our borders, and that's just not human nature. Just playing nice. It's not taking advantage of opportunity, economically or just militarily. This isn't normal, and so making these coalitions to like snuff people out if they start trying to like sprout their wings and nationalize their products and stuff. that sustain their economies. That's what's happened in Libya, Iran,
Exactly.
Iraq.
What we're trying to say. You know.
This is it's going to boil over, and we're witnessing that. So
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
keep that stuff in mind. Really start learning your history for your locales, especially last 100 years really matter. The death of monarchies. I'm doing this right now. I'm doing this research in my free time at work and stuff, playing YouTube playlists in my ear and stuff. So I'm just always learning, playing on repeat to retain it. So I'm a total autist with this stuff now.
All right.
Let me see. Let me catch you in the chat, and then we'll dig into your campaign.
Sure.
And Dave's, are you still campaigning, Dave? Or
Sure. Yes.
okay.
I am in like a Gemini Crusader campaign modus at the moment.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We're gonna get all that,
Sure,
but
yeah.
if you want to add yours at the end as well.
Yeah.
So we got Red. Thank you for being a member for 7 months. I appreciate it. I can't tell what the hat says on your picture though. He says, "Yes, sir."
Patient, I have cuties. I'm not sure if that's on his head. I have. Okay,
I have cooties.
cooties.
Oh, do you know what cooties are?
Isn't that something like lice or something like that?
Well, it's imaginary. It's like when you're a kid and you might start liking the opposite sex.
Oh yeah.
Maybe like,
the girl
"Oh,
has
you don't-
cuties.
You don't touch girls. You get cooties. You know, it's like a mocking thing.
No.
It's just,
Oh, okay.
it's like the transitory from like carefree genderless toddler mind to starting to become aware of the other sex.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how it is for kids that are gay transitioning from childhood to young
Good
adulthood,
question, actually.
you know,
I don't know.
because I'm a believer in the like more or less it's a birth thing. If you're gay or not, that's your temperament. It's just a natural recessive trait in humanity, especially if you look at countries where it's like we'll kill you if you're gay, you know, and it still keeps popping up. So it's obviously mostly natural.
Yeah.
You can say like, oh, this person was abused or whatever. That might influence, you know, your environment might influence some, but it really is, I think, subconscious. It's implicit, you know. That's my belief. Twin studies seem to, if we're to believe and they're not like tweak statistics, then the twin studies kind of reveal that too. If one twin's gay, the other one probably is gay. So I really do think it's a recessive trait. Is it a deformity of the brain? I don't know. I don't like to get into that angle. I think it's disingenuous.
I'm not a doctor either. So.
No, we're getting to genetics and what's the other word?
Eugenics.
Eugenics, exactly.
Yeah, that's another one. Eugenics has become a boogeyman word, but it's like women are eugenicist every day when they say, I'm not interested, you know, like you're not fit. Your genes will not spread, incel. You are a genetic dead end, freak. We got my buddy Backy. I think Backy's from like Eastern Europe, if I'm not mistaken. Got another Euro guy here, if I'm not mistaken. Stony McInternet douche says, I also tried to learn German. It did not go well.
It's not an easy language.
No.
Some of it is like a little bit I learned, like, you know, especially when it's like a foreign word, they just kind of keep it, or like champagne, you know, like, that's cool. But I've seen some of these like TikToks where they like splice. How do you translate this? And it's just like consonant heavy, guttural. It's like, that's scary, you know.
We are. I mean, I'm. I like I said, Dutch is very close to German, but we are using a lot of the hard G, like, you know, that kind of words. And
also the was it the R's? I noticed you say on like L's, like the way you enunciate the R's a lot is L's.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is weird.
Yeah,
it's yes.
Do you know? Wait. How many languages do each of y'all know?
I speak German, English, Dutch, and a little bit of Japanese.
Where'd the Japanese? Is just because of the manga or what?
No, no, no. I've been to Japan twice, and I was always fascinated by the culture because it's so different. I think if I look at future of humanity or future technology, I always look to Japan or Asia because they all always invent some weird stuff. And when I was little and I watched a lot of anime back then, they always come with this weird stuff that I never seen in the West. So and then if you look at the Akira movies, with the transhumanism, I didn't even know what it was, right? Or cyberpunk. I always look to Japan, and Japan is refined that somehow, and I was so fascinated by that. People with robot limbs and using telekinesis, and mutants and all that stuff. It's just and a lot of robots in space and that all that things. Just I don't know. I was so fascinated by it, so I went up there and I can honestly say it's one of the safest countries in the world and the cleanest. You can basically lick from the streets. It's so
I saw a video where someone was like, they put their camera in like the stream, and then the stream actually is like a rain drain or a gutter, and it's like a nice sprawling little oasis for fish.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like,
Crazy.
God, never doing that in America. In our cities. Gross.
The mutated, radiated fish of some kind, mutant freak.
Exactly. Like in The Simpsons with the 3 eyes, right?
God. Somebody says Switzerland also has a lot of guns and civil wars. Is that true, David?
The guns, that is definitely true. The Civil War is like, really? I don't know. Maybe that's a part of Swiss history. Maybe I missed it when I was in Mexico.
Well, maybe you'll have one coming soon. You can be.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Jesus Christ.
Better strap up.
Better strap up, yeah.
Yes, you train on things like human skin, but not human skin.
Yeah.
Huh. Don't have tattoos. Learn something every day. Yeah, I'm always finding weird factoids, or I retain weird stuff. But yeah, we got Godfo. Let me send you a link. I don't know if you have the time to join Godfo, but Dan, I told you to send you a link, and I meant to earlier. It's funny when I open my Twitter because it's like, oh, that is a woman shaking her ass. Cool. Let me see, where's Dan?
Hey, Godfo.
Where? 1 second.
Or is it Godfo? It's Godfo.
Godfo,
right?
yeah. It's he's got this comic. He makes some kind of like manga,
really?
but
Okay,
they're
cool.
comics, yeah. Yeah, me and him have so much fun chatting off screen or on. Always having little soft, cool religious conversations, or not really debates. So more like we know each other's position more or less,
Yeah.
and we're kind of like picking at them, but we're friends.
Well, we do that the same with David and the other guy. We fight a lot, quotation marks, but because we have different views. But we are coming closer and closer through the years. So I trust him 100%.
Friendly banter. That's kind
Friendly banter, more like complaining and bitching, stuff like that. That's what our chat is called.
That's the name of our chat group.
Comics.
Pitching and talking, or something to say.
Yeah. We have to throw out our daily misery sometimes when we come back from work. Right? I heard a tale.
Speaking of prison, Dan asks Rookie about his dime in prison.
Okay.
I don't know if he means the actual. I don't know if he actually means like monetary earning in prison or doing 10 years in prison.
That's not me yet. I think he has me confused with Nerdrotic. I don't know.
Whoa. Hey now. No, I'm in this weird position where, like, I feel my channel. I love crap on Eric July and Rippaverse. I really do enjoy how bad the books are, but I try to keep it on the field of play, is how I say it. So, like, people, John Del Rose, for instance, you might know of him. He'll pop up, and people will try to be like, "Don't you beat your wife?" And I'm like, what does it have to do with like discrediting his take about libertarianism?
Yeah.
And so Nerdrotic did math. He sold math. He went to jail for it. He paid his price. I don't like to demonize people over shit like that when it's like we are talking to them because of entertainment.
Exactly.
When he like missteps, I'll like crap on him for the misstep that's public, but that's just my sense of like integrity and yeah. So it's like that's why I'm like, hey, now it's one of those where like, no, that's totally funny. I will engage the humor of it, but I will not contribute. That's like my line in the sand.
Yeah.
And Ricky knows that, and so he has even more fun with it.
Here, once in a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the for example, the ISOM books, they're like, taste, they diverge, if you like, but I wouldn't consider them awesome. But the quality of the book seems to be improving. Like, I don't know, the last book, this sci-fi, that looks really,
Oh,
really...
Zaylan?
Zaylan.
Okay, the character looks a bit funny, yeah, but I don't know, the art looks pretty cool, and what's the name? They have like a pretty interesting "all that kills must die" or something like that. Like,
yeah, that is an interesting title.
That is an interesting title.
So the thing with that, real quick, is that it's a laughable title given the quality of the books. We've gotten a good taste of what you can get from that company. So it's like laughable when you make a title that evokes God loves, man kills. You know, like, from the Rippaverse, you're like, oh, no, this isn't. Oh, that's so adorable. You know, like. So that's where I am when I hear it's like, that is cool sounding, but then it's like a freak Wolverine Doctor Strange in space. So,
but it somehow it works because people keep talking about him, right? In
That
some
is
way,
true,
positive or negative, he's always every day is in a picture on X, right? So it does something right or wrong. It just depends.
That's the thing is the Eric July market does not benefit Eric July. It benefits people talking about Eric July. So like that's where it's like, no, all the PR is not good. It's not benefiting him. If he was like Andrew Tate, good or bad, it's benefiting Andrew Tate. You're on his mind. He's on your mind. You're talking about him. You're boosting his value. For instance, that's like a great recent, controversial character. Eric doesn't have that. It's all a nosedive. It's a kamikaze. I view it.
Yeah, no. I think that if ISOM 1 would have had like awesome quality, this would have skyrocketed like crazy. But because it's had all these 3D assets and what have you.
Oh yeah, I hate 3D.
That's what kind of like has made this downwards trend.
It was just funny because it's like I made a point just to like not even mention it, but then it came up, and so it's like, well, it's come up now, and so y'all are free. I'm always, if I have new people, I'm always like hesitant to involve them in the stain, if you will, of engaging the CG versus Rippaverse and the quality and all that, because it's like, oh, if you say anything pro or con, this might hurt your following. So I don't, and it's funny because Dan Godfo, that's how it started, was had him on talking about his comic and then just chatting with him, had like a good 4-hour conversation, enjoying him, and the Rivers just came organically when I was trying to avoid it just for his benefit of avoiding picking a side in the conversation. But he's like, you keep talking about this and I listen to your stuff and it's just so funny. Like,
well, I would like to claim my Swiss neutrality or maybe Dutch neutrality as well. Like I don't want to be. I think we don't want to be on any against anyone, and I honestly think that the last books this one, the Sutter, all that kills must die. I am honestly interested in that book. I'm not like a.
So have y'all been following like the shenanigans with the court case that he dropped and the funny guy that went to the warehouse? Are you following like those details, or is it just kind of the books are you part of your awareness?
I have no idea.
Okay, yeah. See, that's why Ricky and people follow it because of all the like outside. That's why I say like this PR angle of like good or bad. PR's PR. It's like no, it's not for him. It's why the prices are going down for his like profits because he's getting all this. He's getting his own fans commenting, getting his own fans to quit his channel. And that's why I'm like, oh no, this is not good for him at all. Like,
Okay.
yeah,
You mean Eric July?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like he's had all these shenanigans that he's involved himself. If you start digging into it, just whether you like it or not, EVS is a great source to like see the like ongoing like 2-3 year saga of this guy, and it's basically just critics have come out and reviewed his stuff, read it, and it seems that a lot of the happy fans don't read the books, so then they're like promoting a YouTuber merch. That's like the big argument, and then they're like denying it, but then it's like we the detractors know more about the stuff than the fans do. And
that is probably true, yes.
And so yeah, it really becomes like when you're an atheist, you know more about the Bible than the Christian is like, that's wrong. And it's like, oh yeah, well, like here's this contradiction with this book and this book. Here's this verse, but that doesn't add up with this. The Zionism topic, it's like, oh, well, Jesus, he broke the old covenant, or the Jews forsook the covenant when they killed him. And it's like, yeah, but Jesus says he came to fulfill the law. So he's still fulfilling Judaism, even if you're saying you've like pivoted from it or something, or now it's different. It's like, no, you still need that. It's these contradictions start adding up, and that's the arguments will come up in the religious conversation of atheists and Christians. And yeah, when you're the atheist, you have to know way more about science and verses in the Bible that contradict like what we know now. If you're a hard like fundamentalist, like it says this, the creation happened this exact way. It's like, well, what about the dinosaurs? What about cavemen? Like we're 6,000 years old, but these cave paintings are 40,000 years old. So they're just in hell, like. So this is what happens in the Rippaverse.
Okay.
Less epic proportions, but it's the same kind of goings on of pro and con. So that's the fun of it all. And then there's all these outside shenanigans related to him that he has instigated. Basically a guy put bunny stickers. They were a meme in this ether of back and forth. So the guy went to his warehouse, put bunny stickers on it with money. He's like, ignore those super chats.
Yeah.
And so then he's a libertarian, which means like, fuck the state, do as little as possible, that you don't have to do, never involve yourself with the state, don't contribute, avoid paying as much, all this stuff. He called the cops. He called the cops. He called the cops on a guy who put $40 on his warehouse. Yeah. He wasted taxpayer money for cops to fingerprint $40. And then he's instigated a stalking case that he then dropped. He wouldn't contribute to witnessing at court. And so now he looks silly. So like that's part, like the whole libertarian thing is a huge part of Eric growing to sell his comic in the first place. That's how he got 500,000 subs. And so this is like the big cosmic argument around Rippaverse. It's not just the book quality, because it's like you built yourself this way. Now you're trying to pivot to be corporate, like Marvel or Disney or something. Like, hey, comic guys, we got a new book. But then it's like your whole persona was like, fuck people. I'm going to dance on their careers when they're fucking fired, yada, yada. I'm going to wreck the comic industry. So he's been real Jekyll and Hyde. All these things factor into this Rippaverse conversation. If you follow it, it's way bigger than the book.
The one part that I did follow is that he had like a thing called monetize your haters, where he would like invite detractors and like then rank them to shreds or stuff. And like I remember there was in Twitter one guy that was pretty autistic and he just like rip him a new one, and then now it's like he seems to be very how to say, not good with criticism. So it's like, hey, what do you mean? What happened to monetize your haters? So I can understand that is something that's, I don't know, clashing.
Yeah. This weird pivot when it's like the energy around Eric, whether you liked him or not, was grassroots. And hey, I saved all my YouTube money, and I'm not just going to bitch about comics. I'm going to try to fix them however much I can. And it came with like this American black bravado of fuck the system. And yeah, you could hate that candor, but it has like a genuine feel to it. There's an energy. People were backing him, not really about the comics. They were backing him as like another cog against the machine of corporations and the deep state, whatever, you know? Mm-hmm. So that was why he got like $4 million the first campaign. It wasn't just like, oh, I want to do a comic book about like a Luke Cage character. It was supporting, a shot across the bow. Yeah. And now he's like trying to be like, hey, I just like comics. And, it's like, what? Now you've gone soft. You've gone soft. And that's the worst stink anyone can have when you're like supporting a radical. And then he's like, hey, maybe like they actually had some good ideas, in the status quo. It's like, wait. that's the biggest.
It's like, all of a sudden.
That is the hugest factor of this decline. Outside of the shenanigans, outside of like this internet drama saga that's gone on for like 2 years now, it's really, people really got a sour taste. They even if they don't like identify themselves, they get a feeling. And I think that's really what's hurt Eric is he's switched like, I can't monetize my haters. I got to run a business, and it's like, but Brian,
you started like you became famous because of that thing.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, I can understand that that's not,
Yeah. It's like Slim Shady Eminem. You look at Eminem in his heyday in like early 2000s, and now he's like, fuck Donald Trump, man.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And it's like, it's not even with like the attitude of old Eminem or like Donald Trump's a fucking bitch, I'd be slapping that hoe, none of that. It's just like now you're trying to be real and like one of us, politically engaged. Like, no, you're a rapper, just say some diss in a song, call him an F slur, whatever.
Make it funny, please.
So that is the fun of following the saga of Eric, is all the shenanigans related, and like it's kind of like, how do we interpret what's going on? This doesn't look good. Oh man, he's bleeding money. Yeah. Cause that was another thing. He when he made ISOM 3, he put out this transparency post where he's like, hey, this is where I'm spending the money. This is how much I spent to make new copies of ISOM for the future. And so that's how we can kind of gauge like, yeah, he's not making money now. Fucking hundreds of thousands look good if you're on Indiegogo running solo with like a little team. You're running a warehouse, you're hiring 15 people, trying to do your own shipping and stuff. Like, no, you're not making money, bro.
But I mean, I would imagine those 15 people are like friends and family. It's probably, like.
Yeah, but he's still got to pay. He's still got to have like some kind of insurance for like workplace. All these American, OSHA regulations. He's got to maintain a minimum. That's the fun of it, because people argue on his behalf, and he seems to encourage them or pat them on the head in some way to keep doing it on his behalf. And sometimes it gets nasty, and both ways, but usually from his side, from my view. But yeah, it's a fun time. It's when it started becoming like, oh, there's a new thing with this, I was like, I'll talk about it, every couple of weeks or something, or a month, have a break. Now it's like every day there's stuff to like fall behind on. And I'm like, oh my God, and this interconnected network he's building of people trying to jump on his ship. And it's like, oh, you picked the wrong time to jump on his ship, buddy. Like,
it's crazy how tribalistic the internet can be. Like start like they were all friends, and all of a sudden, like you get the Iron Age, you get the CG, you get the Rippaverse, and it's like
people always like to make little groups all the time.
Yes.
Starts as a bigger group, and then, well, we don't like these things, so we're going to make our own faction.
Right.
Something.
The best way I could explain what you're just saying about tribalism and how petty people can be. So here in America, we have football, football Americano, whatever you want to call it, pigskin versus soccer. And here in Ohio, there's this team, the Cleveland Browns. They're an iconic historical team, but they've sucked since like the 60s. And anyway, their coach that got them all these championships and prestige in like the 50s and I guess 60s, he had some falling out the owner or whatever. So he's like, fuck you. I want to make my own team. So he went to Cincinnati, which is like 5 hours away, made the Bengals. And the Bengals uniforms were like exactly the same orange helmet, but he just put the word Bengals on it. And then people would be like, hey, that's the same thing. He's like, fuck you. That's how petty tribalism can be sometimes. And like, that is the spirit, is like, I mean, that's like, the Cold War. Hey, well, all the friends, the allies, we've won the day. All right, stick them up. You start pointing the guns at each other.
Yeah. Yeah. We won the war. Now we're to fight war with each other.
Yeah. Berlin.
Out of the internet, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's healthy. It's the way we are. We bifurcate. It's hard to ever make giant regimes because someone's always like, wait, I want to rule the castle,
I can be the king.
Yeah.
The Game of Thrones. It's life.
I'm gonna sit in that chair. I'm gonna sit in the chair.
I want the really pointy, hard chair that hurts your butt.
The last 5 people died when they were in it, and they lasted about a week. I'll be next, and I'll be totally fine. Yep.
Oh my God. Godfo says Beastie Boys. What ills must rhyme. Stray Beans says, what hibbities must jibbity. It's funny, Stray Beans? I literally was getting out of the car. I was thinking about Zaylin today. I'm like, fuck, I gotta get Zaylin at some point. And I was thinking, I literally said what hibbities must jibbity to myself. And then to see you say it. Convergent evolution is happening repeatedly this week.
That sounds very much like what Confucius says. What's hibbity does one jibbity.
Godfo says we got to get these guys some biscuits and gravy. Oh, that's a great. I have that like every day at work. Biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy.
Yeah,
I know what those are, but we don't.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I put gravy mostly on potatoes or something like that, right? Or
like a steak.
Yeah, steak. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Biscuits and gravy, white pepper sausage gravy, biscuits. Yeah. Oh man, it's amazing.
That actually works.
Yeah. Oh man, that's great. It's funny because like me and Ricky always have these food arguments because he's such like a picky person. He's not tried any. I'm like, we're like the same weight. We're both like 300 pounds, and I'm like, how are you fat and you don't eat anything? You don't like anything? Like, how? And so sometimes this will just come up in my brain now because we had so many food conversations about him being picky. And I was thinking about, I don't know if Ricky's ever had biscuits and gravy. And I was thinking about like a lot of dishes, like soups, stews, come from poor people. Yeah. It's like, fuck, okay, all I got is carrots and I got like chicken bones. And then it's like, that becomes soup, like. And then it just permeates society. It becomes a common dish. And then it's like an afterthought,
Yeah.
Peanut butter and jelly in America, that comes from World War II. It was a protein replacement.
Right. Yeah. Still works. Yeah.
Let me see. About caught up. We got Keely Chow. What's up, my friend?
Hey, Keely.
Damn
from
it.
Hong Kong. Wow.
Wait. I didn't see that coming.
I guess.
I think he's American. He's a big American football fan. He's always like, "Hey, go this team, that team, that team." Like,
yeah, he's always in Vinny Tanamella's chat, right? So
nice.
Just called gypsies.
I don't know if you're joking, Godfo.
So he is.
No, I guess Eric has run his business. not business. Yeah, I forgot. If you weren't into fat bitches and liquor, you would be the whitest plantation owner ever. See, okay, that's a funny stereotype. Black guys in America classically love fat white women. And it's like, I do have a predilection for fat white women. Not like grotesque fat, but like, plump, juicy, fat tits, like the barmaid with fat tits, chunky girl that's got a cute face. Love it.
Right.
Love it. Yeah, love the cute BBWs. And so that's like, yeah, that must be some genetic programming there. That's the black in me, you know.
Nothing wrong with that, I guess, right?
Well, yeah, but it's like a common meme here because, blacks are memed as like lazy, they don't work, and so the idea is that like they're leeching off of a white woman's like food stamps or something, and so there's like a common like attraction off of being trash. Like that's the stereotype to demonize the liking the fat bitches. And then Africa, classically in the West, we usually only see Africa with like ads like "feed the starving black children of Africa."
Oh yeah.
And so then you think like, well, if that's like a genetic history of like starving in Africa, maybe there's like a subconscious attraction to the fatties as like a sign of wealth.
Yeah.
Funny tangents you can go on thinking about that kind of stuff when you start looking at like trends in history and where people are from.
Well, they're probably like, if you get a big fat white lady as your girl, then they'll know that the house will always have a lot of food in it, so they won't go hungry.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a wealth.
Yeah.
It's a sign of wealth historically, being a fatty. But anyway, enough talking about fat white women and their black boyfriends. Time to talk comic campaign.
Yes.
Gemini, Crusaders. I always love going in blind with like brand new people I have no idea about. I don't know if I think I told Dave. I don't think I told you, Marinus, but I have not looked at your campaign. I just saw the picture he shared on Twitter. It came on my feed. I'm like, fuck, that looks great. And so I'm going in blind, experiencing this for the first time. You'll not see me, but you'll hear my thoughts fresh.
Yeah, just spit it out. Sure.
Let me share. I'm a little rusty with the buttons, so here we go. All right, so we got Gemini Crusaders.
Yeah.
Tell us all about it, and then we'll play the trailer.
Yeah, and well, basically it's a fantasy science fiction book, and that's the short gist. Aliens, hundreds of years, came to this planet, and they were followed by other aliens that wants to exterminating them using bioweapons. But then, after some kind of a defeat, they went into hibernation. The people that wants to defeat them and kill them are gone. But now, 800 years later, these monsters come back. And it seems that only these two sisters can save the kingdom because they want to, raise the land and kill a lot of people, basically. And that's where these sisters comes in. And they are, one of the sisters, Isabel, is the blonde one. She is more the dusty book type, right? Well, her sister is more like a provider, she's hunting, putting food on the table. And Isabel here has like I said, a teacher, a meister. And they are basically looking for remnants of what happened 800 years ago. And those bioweapons called pylons are scattered across the land, broken, not usable. And those people, people from the land doesn't come, to that particular places where they are because of superstition, right? Because it's in the medieval times. But some of them, like thieves and murderers and other people try to understand what they are and where they come from. But still to this day, they don't know much about it. And then 1 year after what's happened in the past is, when they discovered something very important in a church, a war starts. And that's basically the short gist of it. And the kingdom needs to be saved. And we have also knights, a lot of them, people of the realm defending them as well. But Vivian and Isabel are using those bioweapons to defend the realm from the monsters. And it's awesome. The art is fantastic. The colors are nice. It's great. We have a lot of covers. We have some perks, but we also remove some perks because I sell an original art, and I removed that from this campaign, so it's not there anymore. But if you want to, show the trailer, and then we can talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah. Here we go. Wait, was that Joe Ball? Was that a Joe Ball picture?
Joe Ball picture.
Joe.
Let me see. Let me back up. Right there. Is that Joe Ball?
Nope.
Because some of the shading remind me of his art. That's why I was like, oh shit, you're really reaching around all over indie comics.
It's crazy, man. He's super detailed. He shared something about his deaf book. Oh man, it looks good. It's really good.
Yeah. All right. No, sorry. I saw it. I'm not like a big. I like a lot of comic art, but I can't. Besides like Jay Scott and Tommy Frog, I can't really pick out like that. Obviously, is that artist,
Yeah.
But the shading here made me think of Joe. So shout out Joe Ball. Unrelated
Absolutely.
though. Let me keep scrolling. There we go. Nice. I'm always wondering, did you contribute to the animation, or did you?
No, Red Gaze did that.
Okay.
Yeah, he did the animation and the music for me, and it came out fantastic music. When I, hit the play button and the music just blasted in my ears, I said, "Oh man, this is epic."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, man. Let me see. Yeah, it really caught my eye, like seeing this part right here.
Yeah.
That I'm just thinking, like, God, how long does that take to figure out how to do that? I'm assuming it's like some sort of manipulation, layering, but seeing it come to life like that, I'm always just like, how does it? I don't know how they do it. I'm guessing, so it's like an annoyance of interest, though.
Yeah, I have to ask him about that, how he does that, right?
And yeah, you got a cool it's cool angled shot here. That's awesome. Let me see. God, your colorist is all over the place as far as like range with this. This is good stuff.
Yeah, we have 2 colorists on this book, right?
Oh, how does that work?
Well, it was more like time restrictions and all that stuff.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Yeah, so basically that, and availability, and both of them doing a fantastic job. But we want to move the campaign a little bit forward, a little bit quicker. It's about 75% done. This whole book, when it comes to art and colors, we got I believe tomorrow a new page that's going to be colored too, and then when everything is done, everyone goes to the. We're gonna finish the product. Yeah.
This is like a revolting door of artists. Like if you don't fulfill by the time and date we agreed, you're fired. You're like The Apprentice. No, it's not like that.
It wasn't that like that at all. I mean, there's a lot of people taking on a lot of jobs, and I'm not condemning for that. I mean, if you get money from other projects, do you? I mean, our artist is working on other projects as well, but he always delivers on time. He said, "Hey, here's a page." And then he is using some sketches to show us and say, "Is this what you want?" And then we say yes or no. And then he's gonna, draw it, and then small little tweaks, and that's it. He knows exactly what we want, and that's very fortunate. And then we find a guy that really feels our project, right, and bring back to life that what we think it should be. Right.
So is this like a timeline? Because I'm seeing like her garb versus earlier seeing this like knights. Is this like its own world? Is it our world or?
Well, it's a fictional medieval world, right? Because there's of
Okay.
course no remnants from from alien civilization. There's no magic in it. So what I wanted to show that is a threat, because if you would watch movies, TV series, with aliens involved, it's always in our time period. So I thought, you know what? Let's do something different. Let's throw aliens in a time, that's never been, in my opinion, I don't know if that's been done before, but not that I know of, and see how people react in a world that is filled with, certain belief systems, that have never seen anything like that, because they don't know if, planets, civilizations outside their own world exist. And because they are, of course, thinking that they are coming from heaven or hell, something like that. It's not a religious theme in here, but, most people are, probably all people from the time period are pretty religious, right? They have a certain thing in their mind. Everything that is weird and not normal is evil or maybe good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just asked because, like, it's like, okay, it's facing aliens, but then you get this kind of medieval or early.
Yes, they don't wear
Renaissance
super suits or something like that. I mean, they still wear their normal medieval clothes, right?
Yeah. No, it's just like random. I'm not nitpicking. I'm just getting clarification because it piques my interest, especially with juxtaposed with like these details on their faces of what is this part of the bioweapon they're using? Is it like attached to them or?
Yes. They basically have some kind of crown, as they call it, to connect mentally with the pylon. They still really don't know how it all works. I mean, the pylon, the bioweapon, is semi-alive. They don't have a thought process, but they're being, let's say, created for war, and they are guiding their pilot into what they should be doing, right? If they don't know it, basically, baby first steps in those. If you are a pilot, and want to try out, at first you need to go into a plane to test it all out, right? Not in a real plane, but in the simulations. And that's a little bit like this, right? They're getting mentally images and information, which buttons they need to press and how to attack these beings and to move these creatures as well, right?
Yeah. So some of the things that come to mind seeing this trailer, hearing you talk about it, getting depth is. I don't know if you've ever seen Cowboys and Aliens. It's got Daniel Craig in it.
Oh, the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because it's like a different time period facing aliens, there's like less technologically advanced to attempt to face an advanced foe like that. So I remember I saw it in theaters, but I remember really my takeaway. I remember like the biggest thing I remember is like the tiny hands trying to get someone behind rocks. They got like a second set of hands. It's like, yeah.
Well, it's a long time ago that I saw this movie.
Yeah. But regardless, I'm sure it's probably not good now if I watch it now. But the concept, I think that's definitely something to. If you haven't seen it, maybe watch to get more ideas, or be like, oh, that was stupid. I could do it way better in my book. Same kind of idea of like a more archaic time facing advanced aliens, because he gets somehow, I can't remember how they explain it, but he has like an alien weapon on his hand that he's kind of the ace in the hole against them. But yeah, I'm getting that came to mind. Edge of Tomorrow kind of came to mind with this idea.
That's a good movie, man. The manga's great too.
And then just aesthetically, these creatures, like this, remind me of the Demigorgon from Stranger Things. And one of the girls is in like a pilot seat.
Yeah, a little more in the beginning.
Made me think of Ripley for some. I don't really know why.
Okay.
That could be. Yeah.
I don't really know why, but yeah, right here, yeah. It's makes me think of Ripley taking charge. So it's like, all right, you got a lot of good things that like seem similar without like I'm not getting like, oh, they ripped off this like I'm getting a wide expanse of. Oh, okay. So this is kind of wide open world to play with here.
Yeah, exactly. I think that, there's also inspirations, of course, but I wanted to do something, well, original. I mean, if people are doing that, sure, I'm not sure. But yeah, I wanted to, something that is very appealing, hopefully appealing to people, and they want to take a chance at it, backing this book, and to see, hey, what is going to happen when aliens try to invade a time period when people are not really equipped to deal with them themselves. They don't. There's no, nuclear weapons or stuff like that. It's not there. It's just bow and arrows and some spears and swords. That's about it. But now they have some kind of an ace in the hole with the bioweapons, but still, there is a lot of problems there because superstition. There is how to operate these things. Can we trust them? What will they do? Some of them are broken, cannot be repaired because there's no technology there. Because there's about total 50, because there was 50 aliens coming to Earth to battle them. And but most of them are just destroyed. So there's just a couple of them that are maybe working or not fully operational. And every bioweapon has a different aesthetic, different weapons, different, things that could do. That's what I want to show it as here. It's not only these things. It's more if this is going to be a success, and I hope it does. I mean, book is ready. It's going to be shipped out anyway. I want to complete the story. It's a 3-parter so far.
Okay.
There's something really unique about this story in this sense of desperation of, there are these weapons out there. Most of them are not working. And it's like a fight to, okay, we have these 2 pylons now. We got to make the best of them before they get, destroyed by the horde of enemies that are coming. And then let's hope we find another one that is actually working. So they can't repair them. They are just, like, this sense of like, oh my God, it's not like, oh, it's just, like upgrades, repairs, and becomes improved. Like, no,
that's not it.
Much more down to earth, I guess you would call it. And also like, the humans are not, like helpless. They're like, oh my God, the pylons need to, no, like they're also fighting, like then you see the knights, they say like, for the kingdom, let's go. Like maybe it's hopeless, but we're going to fight anyway for the honor and what have you.
Exactly.
So that makes it also cool that for example, this guy, the bird, his name is Bertram.
Yeah.
And he's like a really cool character because he has no powers. Like he's just a human, He cannot pilot one of those machines, but he's like, God damn, we'll fight for the kingdom anyway. If you like Attack on Titan, maybe you know this Levi character. He's kind of the Levi of our story.
Okay. See, just on that tangent though, my favorite characters besides Aaron, I actually really hate his like girlfriend, not girlfriend, his adopted sister, Mikasa, is that her name? Yeah. Really hate her. She's actually a girl boss, but the show's so good no one notices. It's really irritating. Like, once we got to the end of the show, I've been waiting all this time, finally at the end, I'm like, I just told her, like, fuck her, man. She's a fuck Ray Skywalker. No, fuck Mikasa. She's the worst.
In here, by the way, that's not how I design these characters.
But no, it's funny you say it. Levi, I like Levi's temperament. He's kind of got this. There's like a nihilist bent to him. That's like kind of accepting nihilism. I love that. I love Thanos. I love Joker. I love No Country for Old Men. I'm very prone to nihilistic.
That was a good movie. Right?
Yeah, I love nihilism in all of its variations. You can play with it. I'm an optimistic nihilist. I don't think there's like a grand purpose, but the world's finite. So it's like, well, I better make the most of it now. So like life is purposeful for me, regardless of the cosmos, But no, my favorite actually, besides Aaron, would be I can't think of his name. The blonde commander that loses an arm. Is that like Blaze of Glory? Sorry, what was
You're
it?
thinking of Erwin.
Erwin? Yeah. Love him. Love his resolve. I love how he's like, I can't quite peace out, but I've always been this like noticer. I've always been questioning. I could never find an answer, and I've always just had to like hold it in. And now we're finally gonna get answers, and I'm not gonna live to see them, but I'll like contribute. Like just that awareness of shortcoming and perseverance, like that just really resonates with me. That's my guy. So he said Levi at first. I was thinking of Erwin, and I'm like, but yeah, Levi's cool too.
I kind of like Levi.
Awesome.
I like the fact that he has no powers, that he's still, like beating all these titans and stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's the perseverance of humanism, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's definitely like the spirit you have like watching Two Towers or Return of the King with like, there's no way, like this is such a insurmountable mountain we're climbing, that spirit. And I'm not one to like, I love Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings. It's just like, that's kiddie fodder to me. But somehow the movies still have like just, even with this kind of just black and white, good and bad morality that I hate, it's like, damn, this movie is so fucking good though, I begrudgingly love the like black and white heroism of those films.
Okay.
How do you think about? I'm not sure if you're reading Berserk.
I got the first like hardcover volume. I love the little like fairy guy. He's cute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's cute. Like
it's so.
I've not really investigated Rule 34 of them, but I'm sure there's probably some good stuff.
It is. It's. I mean, there was super dark fantasy, and I'm just blown away. I mean, I've known Berserk for, of course, many years, but the hardcover. Do you have the hardcover with the black leather like cover? There's some extended editions or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Let me Google real fast. Berserk cover. Deluxe editions.
I think so. Let me grab it. I'll read.
Yeah. So
issues.
One
second.
same.
1 second.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can talk to like Ricky, but into the audience. But 1 second while I grab it.
Sure. Berserk is so good.
Oh, sorry, I put down the game. So.
Right.
Yep. So, they were just talking. You're comparing this character to Levi. Is there? I don't know if you want to show more bit by bits of some of the panels or something to talk about. Anything here?
Let me scroll. Yeah. It was funny you're talking about him being like Levi, because I see this scene, and the way you're talking about it is like spirit. I see this. I don't know if you watch the Game of Thrones show, but my guess, just talking all about this, my guess is this is early, and this is it's like a Dothraki charge where it's like, yeah, we're awesome, and then annihilated. And that's like a tone setter. That's my guess. Don't have to spoil it. Don't tell me. But that's just like talking with y'all. That's the vibe I'm predicting.
Well, there was a scene earlier that when these soldiers are fighting these creatures, right? And then we see the pylons fighting them, but then one of the soldiers are almost getting caught in a blast. He got some kind of a laser through his helmet, and he says, "Whoa, what's going to happen here? It's monsters fighting monsters, right? Because they are still human beings. They are not used to look like, fighting against something that looks inhuman, right?" And then Bertrand comes in and gives them the speech. Basically, said, "Hey, listen, guys, we need to get through it. I know it's scary." But we need to defend the realms, otherwise we all doomed, right? And then they all say, yeah, and then charge from there on, right? Basically like that. So I want to really give Bertram my, this old school virtues, from knights back in the day, good, regular good guys, not scumbags, but heart of gold, defending the realm. And of course, everyone that lives in the kingdom, etc., giving his life if necessary. I want to really give that vibe to this character.
Yeah. So I grabbed it. I have the deluxe version. It's like 600 pages, 3 volumes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it looks great. I've read a couple issues in it, but need to get back to it. I'm a guy. I have ADHD, so it's hard for me to stay on one thing.
Yeah.
So YouTube's great to listen to something, but like reading, it's like I like reading, but I suck at it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know the feeling. There's a couple of books lying around here that I really want to get into, but somehow I just blank because I only see text, right? And then somehow I cannot concentrate enough to read a complete book. I have to do that in sessions.
Yeah.
And I'm not a picture guy anyway, so I like visual medium.
Yeah, I just started. So I'm a vet, so I go to like for a doctor, I go to the Veterans Administration clinics.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll randomly have like free books, like a little library to just leave or grab stuff. And what sucks is that I guess mostly the only people that patron donating anything is women, the old wives, I guess, of veterans.
Oh, okay.
So almost every book is like some stupid fucking romance, I guess. You know, like it's just like this is a clinic for mainly men who have served in the military, possibly gone to war, and or you know, receiving their outpatient treatments and getting referrals for, you know, military related illness. And then you got nothing but fucking romance books. So it's like you'll just find like the most like unimaginative, like fake, like fiction, like military CIA kind of books that are usually stale. Yeah. Once in a while you find a good one, but I found one the other day. I started reading it. I don't know if you ever heard of this movie Matthew McConaughey is in, called Lincoln Lawyer. I didn't know it was a book series, and it's by this like pretty acclaimed reporter or journalist, and he's got, I don't know, probably 5 or 10 books in this. I have no idea. So it's like a Lincoln Lawyer story is what I grabbed. It's like a 300-page, 400-page novel. I started reading it because legal stuff really interests me. And it's funny because there's like this preface page to open, and it's, I guess, like the thought, the spirit of the character. And he's making this elaborate idea about a murder trial, a case by the state for a prosecutor. It's like a tree, you know, you prune branches, that's like your evidence, etc. You water it, you add fertilizer, you nourish it. And he's like, and that's where I come in. I'm the guy with the axe that cuts it down.
Okay.
He's a defense attorney, so he's always working on more or less behalf of the assumed bad guys. And he's a pretty good lawyer. So that's the tone. And the twist to start the book is, he just won this big case. He actually had this guy on trial for assault and battery, and he destroyed the victim by bringing up his past assault charges and flipped the jury on the guy when he actually was the victim. and so he's out celebrating at a local bar that the lawyers always frequent. Pays for like the whole bar for the drinks, and he's going back to his car. He gets pulled over by the cops, and he's got no plate, and he's like, this must be some gag for my buddies. And then it's like something's dripping from the car. It's blood. There's a dead body in the car. So now he is having to defend himself, and he's having to, his whole mission is to not just figure out who framed him, clear his name, but like he's got to exonerate him. So he can't just get off on technicality. He's like, I got to get off clean, undeniably proven innocent to not hurt my reputation. Wow. So that's the uphill battle. So he's in jail at this moment. I'm reading. I'm about 60 pages in. And it's fun because it's like the last time I really got into a book was another legal book. I think they made it to a movie with Harrison Ford. So,
okay.
Yeah. So like legal drama books, Grisham, that kind of stuff, like that stuff sucks me in. Randomly, even though I'm a big Star Wars, Game of Thrones, fantasy, space, like religion, legal stuff. That's
very broad taste, right? Yeah,
that's my jam.
Have you read a book called The Psychoanalyst? Or
no.
heard of it? That's also pretty good. It's about a psychoanalyst who starts similar, that he's like pretty good and what have you. One new client comes in, and then he gives him like a little notice, and it says something like, yeah, guess my name, and if you guess it right, you can live, and if you don't, I'm gonna kill you in 20 days. And that's how it starts now. It's like, wait, what? And then like I think something happens, and there's like a murder, and then the guy who gave him the notice basically says like, hey, I just killed someone randomly, and no one's gonna be able to find out who it was. So just to show you that I can actually kill you and get away with it. So you have like 30 days to guess my name, and that's how it starts. So pretty good, the psychoanalyst, by the way. Anyway, random recommendation.
That reminds me of like No Country for Old Men, where he's he's just getting gas. He says something offhand, and then he actually like that response pisses him off, so he starts inquiring, and it's like, all right, you know what? Fate brought me here, so you're getting a coin flip, buddy. Like. The guy has no idea, but it's like like, hey, guess my name. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna kill you. You got it wrong. Like,
yeah. I mean, there's a whole story behind, but it kind of starts like that. Like, yeah, just guess my name or I'll kill you.
Once you finish it, or if you have finished, you should figure out how to like make like a single image meme that like, you ever seen those posts where it's like describe a movie poorly?
Yeah.
Yeah, do something like that. Maybe that can be like a new little trend for you when you read a book. Describe it poorly as like a pitch. Oh man, European guys, pretty fun time for me.
Thanks.
Is this Bertram?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just taking it in the picture.
Yeah, I know. One of the covers by Alan Goldman.
Okay, I think I follow that guy. I've seen some of his work. I've not really placed it with any specific work, but I've seen his posting. Like, fuck, this guy's good.
Yeah, he absolutely.
No, he's really good.
Yeah, I mean, we had some. I have some original art lying here, and I was on Michael Bancroft's channel. Sold it within, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. I said, wait, what?
Is this a Luca? Is this a Luca painting?
No, this is also by Sid, and Sid is basically using some kind of a digital technique, also used in watercolors called. Maybe you can help me, David. Gouge or something like that. I mean, on the page you can see it a little bit better, but he has a very unique coloring style that blew me away. So I wanted to have basically 3 different covers. I want to have a post cover, action cover, and some kind of a horror-esque cover. And when he drew us, I said, what is this? It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's got the kind of faded quality in this Hobbit with the Ringwraith kind of scenario.
Yeah. Exactly.
I thought that too. I said, oh, wait a minute, this is the hobbits, and then there's the wraiths coming on the horses. I said, oh, man. Yeah, it was really fun.
No, it's funny. These are sisters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Me and Rookie, it's just like one of the many dumb little memes we have between us. We'll watch like an intimate, a serious, dramatic moment of characters facing each other, and I'll be like, "Now kiss," for no reason at all. Like,
yeah, I know what you're saying. What are you waiting for?
Or whenever somebody's dying, their last words are, "There is another Skywalker."
Well, it's funny because sometimes like I'll just be totally sucked in, and then Rookie will like undercut the tone with our meme between each other. Or another great one is if I don't know if you ever watched Austin Powers trilogy.
Yeah, I watched all of them.
Yeah, those. The more I learn James Bond history, because like I grew up, with Craig. That's my Bond. I've only retroactively watched like 4 or 5 of the old Bonds, And so I already got my favorite, and it's Craig. I like all 5 movies. Quantum of Solace is the worst, but it's still a good movie. It's just like too much action, not enough like.
Yeah,
It's really just him like groveling in his sorrow from Vesper, and then action, and it's like there's not enough like connective tissue. But anyway, yeah, Austin Powers, like it's funny because it's a spoof, fucking parody retard, kind of SNL sketch ideas, and yet they have like a really good flow. And in the first one, when Dr. Evil's trying to like negotiate, he's like, "We're not so different, you and I," and it's like. There's been so many movies where it's like, dude, the Austin Powers has made like the quintessential version of this recurring theme in movies of like the similar foes, you know, the movie Heat, when they have the coffee in the diner together and they're kind of exchanging their perspectives and what drives them. It's the Austin Powers scene, you know, it's like no one talks about it. They really nailed the coming of minds of foes, you know? So
yeah,
that's another dumb meme we got.
yeah, they really nailed it with those movies, man. It's one sketch after the other, but it just works. It just,
I love the reaching in his ass gag in the tent. They're all just like, they just keep watching them. You know, they're supposed to apprehend intruders, and they're just watching them. And so the whole thing's retarded. But yes, the takeaway for the audience is 2 sisters scared, now kiss.
you can apply that here as well, right? On this scene. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
You can apply the same logic with the kissing in this one.
Yeah. Ah, shit.
Well, you can.
I was trying to nail it, but I can't quite get the right frame. But yeah, this is the picture I saw on Twitter. I'm like, fuck.
Right?
Gotta tell you this guy. This looks fucking great. Yeah, I'm you know, it's funny because there's been a few people where it's like I'm just scrolling in together, like, hey, who looks interesting? Maybe have them on, pick their brain, promote. And like I had Rob Hunter on like last year, the year before, and I had no idea he's a Comicsgate king. I just saw his campaign, and I'm like, that looks like I've never seen art quite like that. And then I find out after, like, oh yeah, hang out with Thief Man Skyrim and shit. I'm like, what? Like, because then you know he might think, oh, I'm rubbing elbows with the top dog in CG. So this is the way, and it's like I had no fucking idea. Actually, I don't watch CG Kings. It's usually boring to me. I watch Trashcast or drama streams, whatever. CG Kings is like if I hear something about it, whatever, or like there will be a campaign that blows up because of it. And they'll make it in the ether. I don't watch the actual.
People have a lot of clips these days too. So
I don't watch the King streams, you know, and so it's just funny that I go in. If I know your name, if I heard you got a new campaign, like, I might reach out to you if I got time. But yeah, this is what got me to bring you on, because I'm just like, this looks great. We must promote art.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah.
The art is spectacular. This transformation scene into, he's going into attack mode because there's something big coming, and there's something coming out of it. I cannot show the next page, but it's
one of the cool aspects of this thing. This is also one of the things that really caught my attention, is that I was thinking, okay, so the aliens comes and they have like alien guns, like I'm thinking Halo and all the factions, they have the different guns and whatever weapon systems. And Marinus like, no. Everything is biomechanical. There are no weapons with ammunition that you stick in. It's their bodies transforming in what needs to be done, right? So like the shoulders, they grow larger, they build these cannons, and even like the ammunition is like some sort of a biological weapon, not just like a bullet. It's like a living creature that flies and I don't know, maybe has eyes and goes to the thing.
Yeah, it has eyes.
This is so bizarre and original. I was like, oh my god, yes.
Yeah, I really wanted to have that. No weapons lying on the ground that they can pick up. Just everything is growing from them. And I said there's some mechanical parts in here, but it's more aesthetic than actually being used. So everything is more like bioorganic. Yeah.
I assume y'all are big Giger fans.
Yeah.
Oh, I am. Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. That was like the first like really impression of horror I got was not the Xenomorph. Xenomorph's cool. I was a deranged kid because I grew up with like a wacko Christian mom.
Mm-hmm.
Here in America, Protestantism gets like you can get some weird people, and my mom was one of them. And so everything was like sheltered and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many things I couldn't enjoy. Power Rangers because it's like demonic because there's like a sorceress or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So I never got to grow up with Power Rangers, and I really wanted to, for an example. And that probably informed my temperament. So I've always loved bad guys. I've always loved like villains and predators. So like I watched Jurassic Park. I'm rooting for the Velociraptors to kill everyone. Those fucking kids. Please, like, are you kidding me? Velociraptor can open a door and can't figure out eating children. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
That stuff irritates me. And so the Xenomorph, I've always loved them. And through that, you start digging into it. You find about Giger and biomechanical art. You mentioning that, so it's just like it comes to mind. So I'm very interested to see how this develops with these aliens and their whatever they're shooting at people is part of them, and it might be creatures themselves. It just sounds cool. But yeah, the alien, the facehugger, spiders freak me out. So
me too.
the facehugger is what scares me, not the Xenomorph.
It's so fast coming at you.
Jeez, did y'all see Prometheus or Romulus?
Yeah, I saw all of them.
Yeah. What did you like it? Did you think it's a good return to form for Alien?
I don't know. I mean, wait a minute. Romulus was the last one, right? I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like a different angle from the Whaley-Yutani side, which I really like. I think that the actors was way too young, basically. I wish there was more adults in there. There's some parts that I really like, but it's in the special effects, especially at the end at the belt, at the with all the debris that.
The swimming through the space through the blood. That was a cool idea.
Yeah, that was a good one. I wasn't blown away by the creature. I'm not sure it's returned to form, but there's a lot of things that I enjoyed there. So it's not the previous movie that, in my opinion, although it looks visually cool, it went totally nowhere. With all these with these creatures and their experiments and the white aliens. It was like I said,
the engineers.
The engineers are just what the hell is this, right? I like it when aliens are more shrouded in mystery instead of let's explain where they are coming from, and then we have a lore behind it, and we're going to make 2 or 3 movies out of it. I mean, when they are, I'm going sidetracking a little bit, but
good.
When they are standing on the planet and they're walking through that field, and all these spores are coming into their ears and noses, and why are you not wearing helmets? Right, you are an alien planet, and it was so stupid.
Oh man, no. See, it's funny because I saw Prometheus, and it was actually the last movie I saw before I went to the army, and I really liked it back then. It was cool, so much intrigue of like how it's going to expand, and Covenant was like dour for that progression, but because Romulus coming out, I like rewatched them. Prometheus is what got me to watch the film Stargate, and then I was like, fuck Stargate. Like Prometheus is like Stargate for the Alien franchise, and I love it. I love the movie even more now, and especially I've been trying to dig into anything about engineers and where they've wanted to go with it and stuff, and the things that Ridley's trying to play with within the universe, but like not just stick to formula. And make it like Freddy or Jason or something. I love it, man. I love these ideas. He's playing with the idea that the temple that they go into with like all the black goo in the
Oh yeah,
in the vases.
yeah.
That because there's like a fuck, what do they call the like precursor to the xenomorph? I can't remember what they call them in
Neomorphs, I think.
no, the neomorph's the white one.
Yeah.
The fuck, I wish I could think of the name right now, but like the temple has all these clues for like expanded lore, and
Right.
so there's like this like feminine alien like kind of goddess or something in the temple with the heads,
Mhm.
and that is basically like this exchange. It's like the blood of the gods or something for them.
You're right.
And so the engineers are like subservient to the cyclical nature of life, and
Mhm.
Wayland is trying to subvert that and find immortality.
Right.
He thinks he's going to get it with these people, and they are like disgusted at like, oh, you've made artificial intelligence, you made this abomination, and you're trying to seek like eternity. This goes against like nature, so that's why they attack them. They're disgusted,
Yeah.
and that's the little things you don't quite get just watching the film by itself.
No. You have to watch it multiple times to
multiple
really.
times, dig into the lore. And so I've become a big Prometheus fan, more than I was. And so watching Romulus and having them, as ham-fisted some of the stuff was, having them actually lean into the whole lore of Alien
Yeah.
and include the engineers and the black goo.
Mhm.
This gives me so much hope for the future of the Alien franchise to not just keep doing,
Same.
monsters and facehuggers, but actually maybe give Ridley Scott his chance to be an auteur with his Tangent prequel series, because he's playing some crazy ideas, and so
Yeah, I mean, so, like I said, the execution is not always there, but the whole. I mean, Alien franchise is a fantastic franchise, right? And I watch every movie, and I watch them over and over again. Even though I think, this is probably the lesser movie, but I still watch them because I want to know a little bit more, but I don't want to know too much, if you know what I mean.
yeah, it's a hard. That's why the engineer is such a cool idea, because it's like a nice pivot.
Right.
To expand without really explaining the xenomorphs, because they're just a force. They are tempting fate, given that we know they're from the engineers as it's like the blood of the there's this whole thing with the engineers where like you're seeing that one drink the blood,
Right. Yeah.
and he's like spawning life through it. There's like this exchange, and so everything gets perverted with David. And I love the idea of like, we think about God and us, and it's like, but here's a third level. It's like, well, we create, now we're God, and extending the chain. And where does that go? And if you're sentient, you can realize you can meet your gods, your creators. I like to think, I don't know if anyone's ever played with this in writing, but I always like to think
it actually is, but more like subconsciously, I guess, because now that you bring it up, I said, okay, there is a lore here, and I want to be as vague as possible. But like I said, I like that there is an existence of, with the aliens and the bioweapons, but I don't want to expand it too much, because I think if you are giving a little bit mystery, I think it adds also a little bit more to the story instead of, oh, but they are coming from this, and this is the name of the planet, and this has happened there, and that's why. You can make a complete book about it and say, you know what, let's leave that in the open, just like with the Alien movie, right? They know there are the xenomorphs, but where did they come from and what they want was not really important. What really important is that, we have a couple of humans, right? They are on the wrong time and the wrong place, and you need to get the hell out of here, right? Or else. And that's a little bit like this. And there is lore here with the bioweapons and the aliens. But still, now that you mention it with the engineers, so that's okay. There's a little bit more closer to what I envisioned too, subconsciously. So, good.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It's funny. It's kind of teasing out this maybe incidental inspiration in your subconscious.
Exactly. Yeah, I really never thought about that.
I really love the contrast here, because you got this obviously foreign alien design, but you can tell it's like a tree. It's gnarly. But then you got like this dome and this kind of sequence of spore ports or something.
Mhm.
And then you also have this like close-ups of the women's faces. These beautiful women, big eyes. It's very much one of the artists I do know style. Art Adams.
Oh yeah. Oof.
These faces speak Art Adams to me, and it's just such a nice, beautiful contrast and depth. I don't know, it's just really beautiful. It's really, I just catches my eye the whole page, going back and forth between the two faces and this like centerpiece alien, the dome, and this weird bony face structure. This is such a cool piece. And,
Thanks. Yeah, I wanted to show really the transformation. I think that is a big part of that. You know, the sequence. You know.
Oh, that's what's going on. Okay, I didn't realize it's a transformation. Okay, so it's like boom, 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 up.
Yeah, well, it's not really a transformation, but something coming out of his shoulders because that's what's there. It has also a purpose normally. But they are getting attacked by some big, creepy ass monster, and they push down a button, and I mean they get the implementation. You know, their communication, and he said, okay, let's push this button and see what happens, right? And then this creature transforms and produces more weapons, more devastating weapons. There's coming rockets out, and those rockets has eyes too. So there's also, like David is saying, you know, there's all these weapons have a purpose. Yeah.
What the fuck? I would never expect that. No, it's like the thing, you know. It's like, how's this thing gonna evolve? That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Goes into siege mode, basically.
Yeah, you can see that right below, right? A little bit.
Oh my god.
There it comes out.
If I can, damn it. Let me try
There.
I think it's as close as I can get with the pausing.
Yeah. Like I said, these pages are on a campaign too. We can check that out.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Let's look more in depth at these pictures. Oh my god. Yeah, man, this is like hearing more about this, not know anything. I'm like, shit.
Right? So yeah, like I said, it's transforming into some kind of a cannons, if you will, right? And there's some bio rockets probably waiting to get out and towards their target.
Oh shit, you got digital. Fuck yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Also, I think that's important because shipping costs and people don't want to have physical media anymore. It's like, I got tons of comics lying around here, but yeah, if people want to have digital, I want to give them the option.
Yeah. No, I it's just a, limited finance issue for me for the digital. Otherwise, yeah, I'd be like, fuck yeah, instant back physical. But seeing the digital now, it's like, yeah, you definitely get at least $9 for
yeah. Me. Absolutely.
How many pages is this going to be?
At least 32.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the action cover.
Yeah, this is the Alan Goldman cover.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Ripley vibes here.
Yeah. No, that's you can see that when she was in this yellow thing, like battling the alien queen. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize on glance all the men fighting with swords, so.
Yeah, and it's not just the girls and Bertram, and we have also the realm around it, because they are attacking the kingdom, so there must be knights there. So this is the Hobbit cover. Yeah.
Okay, now we're getting okay. This is the Hobbit, the Ringwraith scene I was talking about.
Yeah. Look at that. What a beast.
Oh man, I love weird like fungus creature designs like this, like cordyceps.
Yeah, when he colored this, I said, "Oh man, I've never ever seen something like this." This gouge technique or something. And I said, "This is awesome. We need this." with the gloaming moon, behind the forest, gives it a little bit more eerie feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I asked if it was Luca. I think it's his name. There's this one
Yeah,
guy.
look, yeah. It's a similar style, using the same type of colorist, color schemes, lots of green and pink and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, gray, like white, ghost,
Yes. Yeah.
mossy. Yeah. I can just kind of feel this place.
Oh, the slobber on the tree, like
Oh, yeah.
slowly trickling
Yeah.
towards it. Like,
It makes you think of Last of Us, the clickers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Awesome.
oh, I didn't play that.
So there's a Paul Roderick's cover. Paul Roderick, you might know from Perfect 10.
Yeah. Love that guy.
Yeah.
Great artist.
So there's a broken pylon behind them, and alien creatures, of course, attacking.
Huh.
Sploosh.
Yeah.
Wait, so what's in her hand?
An axe.
Oh, okay. The way the blood's on it looked like just a splatter. Okay. Now I see that little detail there with the line.
Yes.
I like the this perspective he's doing too, with the leg being closer to us.
Yeah,
to her smaller body.
Wow.
That's good perspective.
Yeah. Nice big legs.
I'm a big Frank Cho fan, so love me some Cho art. So anything like it.
Yeah. Oh,
Big
yeah.
full figure women.
Yeah, there's also a physical back against a trading card. We have 4 lined up. So if we hit the target, we're gonna release maybe a perk that that people can get all 4 trading cards. Now, what I like about these trading cards, I mean, I could just make a card, but I said, this is in medieval times. Why not make something like a what's the one looking like a scroll?
Parchment?
Yeah, parchment, indeed. So that people are just being painted in a certain way. So every trading card looks a little bit similar but totally different. But so this is a Vivienne, hunting. Also by Sid, by the way. I think this is a beautiful piece with the kingdom on the background.
Yeah, it's very reminds me. And I'm not a big Magic. I haven't played in years since like 2014, but it reminds me of seeing some of the old like 90s art of Magic the Gathering.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Back in the day, yeah. I hope people like it. Yeah.
I'm just taking this in.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, no, it's just like your podcast, so it's oh no, a moment of silence, and it's like, what is he doing? Oh fuck, did he lose his mic? Gotta clarify. It's like, oh shit, dead air for a second because it's just like art.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So, what? This is like an original story by you, Marinus, but
yes.
You were kind of shopping it, fine tuning it with Dave.
Yes, basically is. I mean, I wrote most of the story, and then when David came in, I presented the story that was, after that, and then he basically, bring in this input as well, and I said, "Oh man, that's a fantastic idea," and it really, captures the story in the field that I'm making. And like I said, we're bouncing really off each other, and he comes with ideas, and well, yeah, it's a collaboration. What do you say, David? How do you feel about that?
So far, so good. No, I think we've been bouncing off of each other's idea. I really like the base idea, and I hope to bring some good input. But the how do you say, the together work, however you want to call it, it's been pretty good.
Collaboration, yeah.
But I like that the base of let's do something original. Let's do something that hasn't been seen before, and that also is like a challenge. Like, okay, this is but this has been done before. Okay, no, but this is like the classical. No, it's gonna be.
We basically
challenging ourselves.
I mean, there was the original. Well, not really an original deer, but somebody came up with because Rod Looper, the artist, approached me, and he wanted to do some kaiju mechanical stuff with me, and I wrote a story, and I thought, I'm not really feeling that, not because I don't want to, but I had this idea with the biomechanical like this, but I had to bring it to life still. It was still fresh, and and then David comes in and said, hey, you need to do this, right? This is a good looking project. This is a special project. The ideas is original, and we're going to show people something that they have never seen before. So we just said, you know what, let's do it. So I took up my my virtual pen and I just started writing, and this is what came out of it, and it's been expanded through the story, and I have a story set up for volume 2 and volume 3, and I hope it's going to be realized. I mean, I want to continue this even after. If it's not going to be successful, I'm going to be on my comic. I'm going to be on Kickstarter as well to get as much funds as possible, because I want to make this trilogy. I just want to make this complete edition and give it into people's hands that are really trusting me with their money. Yeah.
It will be successful. Come on.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, we put a lot of work in it. And, like I said, this is a good project. I don't think the comic is too expensive. We have digital options. We have a lot of covers. And, I think people will really, really like it.
There is no nudity, unfortunately.
Well, hey,
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I said there is no nudity, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe you should tell Black Angus that you wanted to have a booby cover with
Yes, yes.
Dude, definitely if you're gonna put on Kickstarter, get someone to do a booby cover for you. That's the prime place to make that.
Yes,
exactly.
Well, hey, you know what you do, depending, like, if printing, isn't an issue. I've seen what they do on Kickstarter is they'll do like $20 for your booby cover.
Yeah.
Right.
But $30 for uncensored cover. So you have her like scantily for the regular price, nude for the full price.
Wow.
Right.
And they're selling like hotcakes, I presume?
I'm assuming. I mean, this is a trend because Kickstarter has way more of that. You know, I have a couple characters I want to make in the comic. So I got like my first one is Meth Gator. That's like the prime thing I want to make. But I've come up with this character. It's a girl. It's going to be in the same world, but she's going to be a Kickstarter first thing, just because girls booby comics over there, and it's not meant to be a booby comic. But I definitely, if I can be successful with the things I want to make, I definitely want to make kind of like, you got DC, then you got Black Label or Vertigo previously. I want to have that, but it's like, here's the Black Angus company, and then here's like the sub print of like risque erotic porno comics.
Yes. Isn't that what Coffin Comics is doing? With what's his name?
Lady Death.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, they'll do like the cover stuff.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, but their comics are like tasteful eroticism. It's always like compromising, posing type of like, comic, like being cheeky, but never really, even if it's like sexual, it's never really overly gratuitous. So,
yeah, true.
It's like safe for like a 13-year-old. It's not like Sunstone where it's like, hey, there's gonna be chicks that are like tying each other up, dildos everywhere.
No, it's not that kind. No, it's just more like you said, graceful nudity, if you can call it that, with a lot of demons and monsters and angels. Stuff.
Yeah, no, I love Lady Death. I haven't read lots of it, but I do have like the first big like hardcover volume, and I like the feel Lady Death. I always get irritated because it's like not enough. I wish there was more. Its purpose is to like, hey, let's like draw hot chicks doing power stuff. Like, I understand, like, it's like Transformers. Like, don't really think if you're watching Transformers movies, but because I love sci-fi, I love the deep thoughts you can go with it, I get instantly annoyed at how little they're imagining anything. So that's like me with Lady Death is like, the tits are great. I love women, love boobs, whatever. But I wish there was a bit more real depth, real, drama and stakes, because it's like, hey, yeah, Lady Death, you were like in sleepy hell land and now you're awake, but there's further places deeper than this, he can super die. Like, you know, so it's like comic world, like dimensions or levels of, you know, like, oh, you've gone beyond hell to oblivion, no coming back. But actually, there's someone worse than that. Actually, you know, it just keeps getting stupid. You know, so and that's the nature of like this kind of comic stuff, which is fine. But I wish there's, you know,
I know.
I love Invincible because it feels like stakes.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
people
Fuck,
die
man.
left and right. Yeah.
God, that Conquest episode. Yeah, I was kind of like, I don't know, this season's feeling like wheels are kind of coming off the way they're delivered. I've not read the comic. I've only read a few issues, but man,
really good.
Conquest has got me reading Invincible now. I got to read like 70 issues to get like to the real Conquest stuff, but
Beast.
I am doing it and I love it. I don't quite like Jeffrey Dean Morgan's voice for that character visually, but his like little vocal mannerisms, that's what's redeeming for me. He does not quite embody the image of Conquest, but his like suave kind of just like finally carnage, this is delicious, you know. That's what makes up for him not quite being the right guy, you know.
There's a character in there called later on, it's been ages that I read Invincible, called Battle Beast.
You're gonna
love that guy. You're gonna love that guy.
Oh yeah, I already love him. I love he's a great voice, and he's the fucking Klingon from Next Generation. I had no idea. And I'm like, oh, no wonder this voice is so good. And I just didn't realize that's what he looked like. He doesn't quite look like that would be his voice.
Yeah.
Kind of like Kevin Conroy. Kevin Conroy, he's an average looking guy, but fucking him like working on his Batman voice.
Ooh, it's so good.
And he's gay? What? That's not possible. You know, talking about stereotypes and stuff. Like, no one promotes Kevin Conroy as the gay guy, you know, because that wasn't his personality, even though he was like an advocate and stuff. And sometimes I talk about that kind of stuff on my channel, and it's like I always promote like Spartan gay, like masculine. That people unfortunately think of gay as like sissy, you know. It's like I've always thought, even before my own awareness and awakening, it's like if you like to sleep with guys, you should be like masculine. You should love trucks and beer, you know, like all you like is men, so you should be super aggro masculine, you know. You should be like the scariest, like Thanos type of personality, not I'm a butterfly. You're like I think that's really the issue.
Oh, it's not like the guys who like the feminine kind of thing, and there's the guys who like the really masculine and hair.
Yeah, but here's the contrast. Like, I'm mainly a chick guy. I love chicks, but the guys I like are the feminine. Not really the personality, but like visual, the aesthetics. I like the twinks. I like so it's ironic because I have this masculine awareness of homosexuality. I'm like, yeah. That's like, I'm a guy. Gay guys, I'll hang out and they'll be like, "You're what? You have sex with men?" Like, I would never guess. My gaydar was completely at zero with you. I was like, yeah, I'm well rounded. I'm not, you know, sex isn't my personality, you know, retard. But no. Ironically, I only like the feminine, visually feminine guys, and that leads to, you know, obviously having some sort of feminine traits, probably. So it's an ironic awareness I have where I'm like, sissy people, and it's like, well, they are hot.
Well, you have taste, right?
Yeah, that's why I love like the little fairy in Berserk. I'm like, yummy. What a cutie. Exactly. Stoney nails it, like without saying the F slur. He says it right. You can be gay, just don't be gay about it. Bingo. We got my friend Katie. She was supposed to be here, dumb bitch. Says, "Hey, Black Agents, can't make it, but I'm in here in the chat. What's this campaign?" Oh yeah, let me share. Did I not? Fuck, I didn't save it. All right, refresh it. And you can get the link for the campaign. I'll share it in the chat as well. This is what's the name? Gemini
Crusaders.
And this is a really interesting comic, and man, he's got some really good art. You can watch the replay and see me gushing over this stuff, really digging in with them, especially this page. This is literally what got me to like, hey, want to like come on the channel because this looks awesome.
Right.
Thank you.
Low is $9 to get the digital version. So
yes, no waiting time, instantly in your
no shipping
mailbox when it's finished.
Yeah, and man, I am thoroughly just overjoyed at, because again, it's like, all right, so we can get these cool looking comic creators on, but I have no idea what their personalities are, how we'll gel, and fuck, I instantly like love talking to these guys.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, age is just a number, right?
Sorry, you say age?
Yeah.
Wait, how old do you think I am?
Oh, no. You said, maybe I misunderstood. You said I didn't know. You didn't know. Sorry. I thought you asked how old that we were.
No. I was saying like I just didn't know. I'm going in blind as far as you personality. I've not seen you on other channels or anything. So
Okay.
it's like I have no idea how the temperament will be aside from like cool comic, bro. But then it's like, oh man, these guys are well rounded, easy to talk to, different enough where there's things to talk about organically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love having a good stranger podcast. Guess.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to be on the show, right? A couple of times, who you are, no idea, but now I know a little bit more about you, and it's interesting, right? So that's how we know, get to know people.
Yeah, we're both like huge Eric July fans, We
love you, Eric. Eric, please hire us. We love you. Honestly, there's been so many streams like where if they're listening to me, I've given pointers. It's like some people detract out of the comedy or out of the spite for him, but it's like, yeah, I think he's a piece of shit. It's funny to see him apparently, in my view, failing miserably and scrambling. But at the same time, like, there's a meme I have that I actually forget repeatedly, and the Ripaverse people that are like vocal on Twitter are always the one bringing it back to my attention, where it's like, this guy thinks he's on a mission from God to destroy the Ripaverse. And it's like, there was I don't know if you ever seen the movie Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So they're like, you're assuming like angels sent by God to like save an orphanage, I think. It's been a while since I've seen it. So yeah, they're doing like, it's like this kind of crazy ensemble musical adventure of these two guys in suits and derby hats and going on shenanigans and running from the cops on a mission from God. And so one time someone was like fighting with me about Ripaverse, and I was giving in-depth like why I give all this criticism, why I neg them and stuff. And it's like, well, you could just not read it. You'd be a lot happier. And I was like, I'm on a mission from God to either correct this company with my criticism or destroy it. and so it became a meme by them, by the Ripaverse people, of like, this crazy guy. Oh, actually, EVS, he's the one that brought it to my attention. This one defender of Eric called Ripaverse Goalpost.
Oh, yeah.
Made a video. Part of it was about me because I like read my tweets on the stream, and I'm like, I'm on a mission from God. And so then Ripper Gold was like, this guy really thinks he's on a mission from God. And then people are commenting on the video like, huh, what an idiot. He thinks God would send someone to destroy a company. I'm like, you should read the Bible. God sent the Israelites to destroy whole races of people. Like,
that's right.
not really far-fetched that, God might send me to be a warning messenger. Beware, Eric, hellfire shall rain upon thine warehouse. If thou does not turn the ship around, like Jonah or David, that's kind of the idea. I'm like a prophet. So that's why I have memes of like a cow in bishop robes all the time.
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah. So that's why that's like a meme I have. Is because they get so butthurt at the idea and they internalize that like I'm serious, because they have no sense of humor, and then that makes it funny because they really. So like, I got one where it's like, I have become Angus, destroyer of Ripiverse. You know, it's like a cow, hellfire angel from the sky with a sword. You know.
Okay.
So this is like the fun I have with it. It's like really fun, and then I forget about it, and so this mission from God becomes like, you know, and then like, you know, haha, yeah, I'm here to destroy rivers, and then it's like, wow, it's like failing way worse than I ever planned. Maybe God really is working through me in some way. so, so this is the fun I have. You know, I am invested. It really goes back. You know, it's funny because the first like real video I did was like this interaction I had with Eric, where like he kept retweeting me, I guess, to get people to like pile on me. But I've already dealt with this with Star Wars, where, oh, you're just a racist, you're just a bigot. You know, like once you already face that, talking about just a comic having a plot or not is easy. And it was funny because me and Rookie, we love this one part in ISOM where he's like, if there's one thing I can't do is fly, and then he crashes in the car. And we're reading that like it's meant to be like humor. And I think that's what really set him off when we were interacting. I was like, yeah, dude, your book sucks, but like, man, I like really love that joke you put in with the flying. Like that was like Looney Tunes level fucking funny. And now seeing all this stuff, him reacting, everything, he does not have a funny bone in his body. He was probably really livid that I was saying, dude, that was really funny. Ha ha ha. Cause I thought it was a joke. Like, and so now I can look back and be like, oh fuck, I probably really set him off when I said, LOL, bud. Like, because I love Looney Tunes, and it feels like the coyote when he's like falling and his body drops and his head's still there with his neck, and he like puts up a sign where it's like, bye. Like,
I trade my body so hard.
One thing I didn't learn.
And then like I just have fun. I legitimately have fun with this because like I like put voices into these characters. Like
Right.
His foe, Darren Fontano. I read him like my attempt at Cat Williams is like, see, the thing about building empires is not just money, like, you know. And so it's got its own life. I read Gooding like he's a robot that has no sense of tone, so he sounds like K2SO all the time. You know, it's like, unfortunately, your husband has died in a fire, like that. You know, like. And so Horseman, I read him like Squidward because Dick Masterson shared a picture where it's like, look, it looks like he's got a Squidward nose, and that like Horseman, however cool you think he is being like Punisher shooting people in the head, I'm like, huh, take that, criminal. So, you know, they're like really ass mad all the time that we're like, ha ha ha, trash cast, oh, let's laugh at Eric. But it's like, no, I really have fun. I really love these books because I think they're just so bad in the most unimaginable ways. It's not like, oh, well, look, they added a black person. Oh, look, it's woke. They turned this one gay. No, it's none of that. It's devoid of any spirit. And after that, it has no logic, piecing it together. And that's just, it's so fun. It's unfortunately him being black. It's like, but it's literally like a monkey wrote this, you know, like no sense at all. And it's hilarious for me. And then we're like collectively, this is like infighting basically, because we're all from the same cloth of like, fuck woke, whatever, you know?
Mhm.
And yet his defenders are like, you're attacking a successful black businessman, as they throw up the race defense.
Right.
And what I never let on, like, I'm black. And so they're just instantly reacting like I'm another white attacking the black man, keeping him down, putting my knee on his neck. And it's like, yeah, I'm black. I let them fall into that trap, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's so fun all the time. They're just like clamoring. They're tripping over their feet. They're stepping on rakes every day. And Katie does great work. She's a clipper. You should sub to her so you can just see the newest shenanigans every day with Eric
Oh,
and
okay.
his friends.
Yeah, I see
She
Katie
just
around. Yeah.
presents it
Yes,
straight.
Katie too.
That is the root of it. This is the root of everything with the Rippaverse and the controversy. Is you ask them what are Isom's powers,
That's a good
and they just die. They dodge it. They run around. They can never answer. I literally asked Eric. I'm like, I read both issues. Like, what are his powers? Because he runs from the cops when he just took out an Except. It makes no sense. Like, do they have Except weapons? But Alpha Core's here to deal with Excepts, so no, they don't. Like,
I would imagine that he has like a ghostwriter, like like
what?
joking.
Oh,
I would assume that he has like a ghostwriter, and he's more like the publicity face of the company.
That's just funny because people joke about that. I give Eric all the credit for Isom. I do not think anyone ghostwrote, besides maybe helping him script it, which I don't think is a cheat or anything. Because you can write, but maybe you don't know how to like break it down for the comic pattern. That's going to be my problem. Once I like write out Meth Gator full, it's just going to be this is a story. And I was like, hey, comic guy, write this in comic code. Like
Yeah.
I don't have the knack for. Oh, this should be this panel. Let's move this here. Let's move this down. I have no idea about that kind of artistic pacing to like deliver to an artist. So it's definitely, at least for the first few, when I make comics, it's going to be the Marvel way, where it's like, I wrote a story, you present it visually. I trust you. Do y'all go through that, or do y'all like sketch it all yourselves, or?
No. I mean, we basically we come up with the story and the idea and how panel. What happens in a panel, and Sid, the artist, Sid is just presenting it in his way, and then we're gonna basically change it because he's doing the sketches, and then when we finalize it, says okay, this is we give you the green light. He's gonna make the art for it, but basically he's understand this project so well that mostly at one or two times he nails it. It's not that we have to over-explain it, that we want to like and dislike. No, he really gets it. I'm very lucky with this guy.
Yeah, no, it's lucky. It's funny because one piece I got done, I just sent a bunch of references. I'm pretty liberal. Like, if I'm hitting you up, I already have confidence in your style. So I'm not doubting you can't like bring to life my idea, but I give like an overabundance of references of like, all right, this is kind of the range of girls I like visually. That's what I'm going for. She looks kind of this. Maybe the hair's like this chick though. Here's like Meth Gator. He's an alligator man, but you can't have him have a ridiculous, realistic alligator snout. It's got to be proportional. So I'm like, look at Godzilla for proportions. You know, because he's a human like character. So so I'll give like fucking 50 pictures just as like standard. Like this is everything about Meth Gator visually.
Right.
But yeah, otherwise it's like I don't know how it should be delivered. Sorry, Backy. I'm just having fun with these European guys. So
have a good night.
Sorry I didn't act for the chat as much as I'd want, but it just happens organically sometimes like this. But good night, Backy, and thanks for being here.
I totally agree. I mean, we, like I said, they said, hey, we want to have biomechanical things. And, when we think of biomechanical, there's such a wide range, but mostly you have a similar-esque, just like, when you have robots in space, right? Or Transformers. When you say Transformers, you know exactly what they look like. And there's a genre with bioweapons or biomechanical as well, just like steampunk. But then Sid came up with this and he said, okay, I haven't seen this before. Let's go with it. Because that thing with the two horses that spews fire and acid, I wanted to, because this is in medieval times and this is near a kingdom, I said, let's not do something like a tower pylon, like a tower bioweapon. And then it can move, with the spider legs. And then the horse... skeleton faces is more like when they are damaged, they can semi-repair themselves by absorbing dead matter or even living matter, and then that becomes a weapon or something that can be repaired. So that's why you see those big horse faces from the sides, and that shoots acid and fire, amongst other things.
It's kind of a hint at how they repair themselves, a hint at how they are built. And
yeah,
like they're aliens, but why do they have like horse faces? Horses are from Earth,
Right. That's why. Right. So yeah, we need to. It's not really explained, but it's a little bit more context.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to back this soon. Definitely get the digital at minimum. Very glad you have that option because, I mean, I guess when you're marketing to mainly Americans, it's kind of necessity given the shipping issues of transportation prices. But I think some people avoid the digital because they're like trying to like snag every dollar because they're kind of like living with a famine mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you don't know how many comics I read for free on like the free site that is pirated. And if I like it, I'll buy the collected edition.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. That's why I like Vito from Biggest Problem. I love his idea. We've got to wait for it to actually happen. Still dragging his feet creating the content, but he's like, once like the books shipped to everyone, I'm just putting the digital for free. I don't care. Like if it's good, you're gonna pay me because you're gonna want the next one. So I'm not saying hey instantly just dump digital. That's no like. Some K-wall, it's hard market to make money, unfortunately.
Oh, absolutely.
For creators, but it's like I think digital is just a sign of confidence aside from the pricing point.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like I said, I'm international as well. I'm backing a lot of indie books, right? Crowdfunded books. Shipping to our country, $25 minimum, and then we have all those VAT costs as well. But that's a calculated. Well, it's not really a risk because I paid for it, but that's something that I'm willing to pay to get the physical edition in my hands and enjoy it, right? And sometimes I just do digital, but I'm more like a physical media guy. So I really, I'm not against paying a little bit more so that I get a real book in my hand.
Yeah,
a lot of people says, you know what? I have so many comic books in here. I don't know what to do with it. Just give me the digital. And I said, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, if people want a digital, I will give that to them. Right.
Yeah, I think for this is a good idea. That's
yes.
A good flow. I think that like you said, if they buy it digital and they really like it, they're probably going to buy it physical too.
Yeah, I mean, and if you buy the physical, you get the digital as well. So yeah, I'm putting that in too.
Yeah. But the best idea though is once you complete this trio of books, so you do the risque sister book.
Only on Kickstarter.
Oh, sister, I'm stuck in the what do you call like the medieval like washing like my hands are stuck on the fucking the like churning thing, you know. Whatever. Do some just tongue-in-cheek stupid scenarios. Like that stuff's always funny. It's always funny. It's like I'm going to jack off to this, but I'm going to laugh first. I'm going to chuckle. And it's funny because like so at least artist-wise, like most artists, they're good at drawing chicks is because they're fucking gooners. So I don't get how people, unfortunately, with comic specific, it's conservative like Trumper bent to it, which is cool in a lot of ways. There's a spirit of like rebellion in this community, but also it brings like a lot of kind of like Christian hard right fundamentals, like American fundamentalism, and so you get like this like just anti-sex kind of sentiment. And it's like, how are you reading comics? Why do you care about like girls not being sexy in their film adaptations, making them frumpy, if you like comics where it's like, how close to porn can I draw this?
Right.
There's like that famous Italian artist for the Spider-Woman pose. There's Frank Cho, Jay Scott, so many others where it's like they're playing with the line, You're drawing naked women with like quote unquote suits, like Phoenix and shit. It's like, oh, okay, sure.
You need to give the people what they want, right?
So it's like, it's one thing to be like Lady Death, where you kind of like, you're not going full bore, you're always like holding back a bit, and that kind of is a tease.
Yeah.
And that makes it fun because now you're being creative with how you're being erotic. But yeah, I don't think it makes any sense if you're drawing like beautiful women all the time, but then like, whoa, pornography, bro.
Yeah.
You're really crossing the line. It's like, how did you get good at drawing women? You're obviously looking at like pinups, you know, that it's lustful. I have this view. I'm kind of an extremist. So I'm like, hey, if you like X, Y, and Z, you probably shouldn't be Christian, because just temperamentally, it's always going to boil down like this crosses a line with, even if it's like infinitesimal, you know, it's like, yeah. So I'm always arguing, usually with like the Zionism problem of like the Gaza argument. I'm like, you shouldn't be Christian. If you're worried about white people, if you're worried about Zionism, you shouldn't be Christian, because it's always going to like rope back into that, you know. That's my view. But yeah, I think that a lot about just all sorts of things. People are like, oh, this Harry Potter's demonic or this or that, and it's like,
oh, weird.
But you like Doctor Strange, or you know, it's like a lot of contradictions with these people. So I'm all about like the freedom of art, whether I like what you're doing or not. I never want to limit fake things, you know. Like no one's hurt.
Well, it's gonna be like a free will, no? Like you can be believing in something, but there's free will, and it's like, okay, for me this is okay, and that's it.
Yeah.
If you like Harry Potter, you like Harry Potter. If that's okay with you, then that's okay.
Harry Potter came to mind because I don't know if you ever heard of Big Mac economics.
No.
I'm not like an economics. I'm not a math guy. I suck at math. I did fine in high school, but I didn't retain any of it. So anything like monetary percentages, it's beyond me. But I know about this concept about how the Big Mac is like a great gauge of an economy, and it's pretty sound. It was kind of like a sort of joke by an economist in the 80s, but people have recreated it. They've used different items with this model, and it's pretty sound. And so it's about like, all right, what's a Big Mac just at the store cost? How much does all the ingredients cost? You know, is it inflated versus the American standard and stuff? I think it might have been Switzerland or one of the countries around you actually had a horrible inflation on the Big Mac compared to America.
Oh, McDonald's is super expensive around here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's crazy, man. The prices are so high at this moment. It's crazy.
Yeah, but the only podcast I could find related to it, and they did mention it for about 5 minutes out of like 30, was unknowingly this kind of like hard like Christian podcast on Spotify. So I just started listening to more of their stuff because they're pretty rational on this Big Mac episode. And the next one I started listening to was about anime and Harry Potter. And like, is it okay for your Christian to watch Harry Potter and let their kids read it? And it was just funny because that was something I grew up with, where I couldn't enjoy the big thing all my friends were in school.
Yeah.
And hearing religious radio about like, oh, this actually teaches kids spells, and you know, it's a gateway to Satan. You know, I'm like, Jesus. Now that I've watched the whole series, I'm like, this is a Jesus character. What do you?
Part of that was hilarious. The guys that are talking to the religious guys were like, well, in Harry Potter, they have like lots of virtues of, you know, doing things for your friends and for the greater good and all these things. And he's like, well, yeah, but sometimes a witch might like get their best friend a cup of coffee. So it's like, I don't know how these things are related. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like the angles he was presenting is like purposely obtuse, you know. I respect, like, I think they're right in the sense of like, if you're Christian, yeah, I showed Ricky this podcast. These are religious guys, not this one, but the unrelated podcast. And it's like, is Harry Potter evil? Cause like the new show's coming. And this guy's talking about all these inspirations that are like Easter eggs in the books or whatever. About like, oh yeah, this is a famous like witch in the 1800s that was reviving witchcraft or helping form it in modern day, blah blah blah. And it's like, I watched Harry Potter and I learned like Wingardium Leviosa. That's about it. I watched these Christians that are warning about the evils, and I'm like taking a 101 into witchcraft. You know, it's like they are the actual, like me listening to like what the Christians are saying about the evils. It's like I'm actually learning where to look to be more evil. Thanks to
You'll
the
learn more about
Christians.
witchcraft, which books to read about witchcraft, which is the best stuff, the most popular stuff.
Right.
Mind
There
you,
is some truth to that, where you're like, if you read Harry Potter, it's basically just a fantasy book, right? That when people are complaining about this stuff, when they're like, oh, this is so evil, and then they start describing you, like, I don't know, like the rituals or the spells and the stuff.
I'm like, that sounds
Like,
way cooler than Harry Potter.
Excruciating detail. He's like, how do you know this stuff? Like, yeah, that is true.
It's like they're really into it. They're really into knowing everything that's evil. And it's like, that sounds pretty cool. Thanks for giving me like little like starting points to investigate more evil. And I want to really know all this knowledge about the evil, you know. And it's like they really don't see how self-defeating they are versus like I'm a huge AC/DC fan. And like I've always liked them ever since like I knew who they were and heard them, and that was a band I couldn't listen to. And because of that, I fucking snuck them to my grandma's house and had them all downloaded on my MP3 player. And so I became obsessed because I was told I couldn't have it. You know, that's why I'm an AC/DC fanatic, and Black Sabbath to a lesser degree.
Yeah.
Versus if they just like let me run wild, that would have just been a phase. That would have been like, oh, AC/DC, and then I would have gotten to newer stuff in the modern day for that time. Probably stupid shit like Limp Bizkit or something. Thank God I didn't. But Korn would be fine. Slipknot, but no, you made me so obsessed with this like very innocuous rock and roll band that just wants to play like Chuck Berry really fucking loud and scream.
Yeah, I mean that's what basically AC/DC is, right? It's just it's not metal or something. It's just what is it, hard rock or just rock?
Yeah, it's just it's literally rock and roll.
Yeah,
and
rock
it's
and roll.
Loud. And a guy screams through his throat like somehow.
Right? Yeah.
Fucking
I don't know
Brian
AC/DC,
Johnson.
so I wouldn't.
Oh man, you're
I
talking
know.
about a treat. I got to see him. It was when Brian like retired because of his hearing problem. So Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses filled in, and surprisingly, he actually did both like Brian, the newer singer, and Bon Scott's songs because he's got the range, so he can do the screaming and he can do kind of the more singing. So it was a pretty good time. I think Axl Rose actually was a really good fit style wise to play both parts of the catalog. So luckily I got to see them before, I was like, oh God, if I could only say this before, they fucking die. Cause I love this band that's like 40 years removed from me, I didn't find System of a Down till they broke up. So I'm always behind the curve.
Yeah, I mean, their previous work before they are became big, I think that's pretty good too. You need to hit their earlier work. It's more like raw, I think, more rougher, more raw, and the lyrics or the songs that they are became known to with. I forgot the CD, but with Angels in the Sky and all that lyrics. That was, in my opinion, okay. Now they're becoming a little bit more mainstream, I guess, quotation marks. But the early one, you should check that out. I think you should like that.
Yeah, no, I'm someone besides like a random song in like a show, like Invincible at the end when they played 9 Inch Nails. That's an old song, but I never heard it, so it's new and I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah,
just like I'm in high school again. I just keep playing on replay. Yeah, and so, yeah, I don't really think about music. I'll be aware of like, okay, it sounds like it's probably from like 1990. I can kind of pinpoint. I know enough music where I can kind of pinpoint the era and the style, whatever. But
right,
it's all just open. Like I love shit from fucking 50s and little hits I find today. But yeah, I'm very much like a 60s to 80s guy.
Nice.
But no, it's funny because you said it because Brian for AC/DC, they knew about him from his old band Geordie, and so I'm the type of guy I investigate the bands that inspired the bands. So Yeah, Jordy, if whatever you think of Brian taking over AC/DC as a singer, if you listen to his early stuff with Jordy, it's kind of like he's in like a Bob Seger kind of style versus the more just boom with AC/DC.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if you like exploring old rock and stuff, definitely check out Jordy. They did a cover of House of the Rising Sun. It's pretty good. And then the other stuff's kind of just like wacky 70s rock.
I like that psychedelic rock.
Yeah, it's a little psychedelic, some weird guitar riffs.
Yeah.
Brian's voice, maybe just because he's younger, it's different. Bob Seger's probably the best comparison I can think of for how he's singing. He's still got some scream, but it's nothing like when he got with AC/DC and Back in Black. Like that's when he like hit his peak perfection. That from Back in Black to Thunderstruck, like that's like prime screaming.
Yeah,
Brian.
It was a cool video as well. Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah! God, I put him on. I just feel like a kid. I feel like the spirit of rock and roll. It's like this, it's fucking this whirling dervish demon on the guitar. It's just like embodies the soul of what rock and roll is. Of just a kid figures out a riff pattern and he just gets good at it and he plays it fucking loud. That's what it is. Like people, I saw someone post something. They're showing like YouTuber guitarists and stuff, or they're playing like Dragon Force kind of technical shit. And it's like, no, that's like talented, but it doesn't sound good. It's just noise. It's like you're proficient, but it's not, it's all technical. It's not spiritual. The only thing that's like that's spiritual is like Animals as Leaders, where it's like very complex 7-string guitar stuff, but there's like an ethereal spirit to it, despite the complexity, despite the technicalities of how they're playing. There's a, I don't know. It's a weird fusion because usually that doesn't work for me, but I appreciate having you on. It's so early in the morning or late, depending on your schedule.
I need to slowly but surely go get started.
Midnight.
I need to make breakfast for the kids and stuff.
Yeah,
nice. Make them some biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy. I don't know what that is, but I'll try. I'll give it a good old try.
Yeah.
I'll find you a recipe. It's not hard to make. I appreciate having you on, and definitely open to throw y'all links in the future. I think we got a good natural vibe.
Thank you.
I want to thank you too for having us on and getting to know you and Rook as well. So both of you,
Rookie is more talkative, but he just got the new Assassin's Creed, so he's playing to see how woke it is.
Yeah, so far not too much, but the stuff with the Black Samurai is not nearly as fun as with the chick. So there's that. I guess.
Well, I hope you're having fun and get your money's worth out of it, right? I mean,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's some stuff that's annoying with it. If you ever played Assassin's Creed, the camera's too close to the character. There's a lot of the button layout isn't as good. It doesn't want you to climb as many things. It's a little annoying, but But your guys' comic looks freaking cool, though. I'll be back.
Wait, a black man that can't climb?
Man!
He's pretty much just a tank in this, just wearing armor and I'll punch you.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm a big Odyssey fan, so
yeah.
Hearing this is just like I don't even know if anyone talks about that Indian one or the Baghdad or whatever it was.
Yeah.
See, exactly. It was like, oh right, they did do that. It's like
that was in Egypt.
Origins kind of made us scene, and then Odyssey was awesome, and then Valhalla I hear mostly good things, and then it's like everyone forgot about the next one, and then Samurai. Wait, he's black, and then wait, he might be gay. What the hell, And so that's all I've heard, and that's why I was so excited about this stream and how good we've gelled is because besides running the book, I didn't know the temperament, and also all I'm seeing entertainment wise in this sphere is Eric July stuff I keep up with EVS and Katie. Otherwise, all I'm seeing is Snow White coverage. And it's like, who the fuck cares about a live action Snow White? And so it's like, I don't know what to talk about right now. So this worked out great.
A lot of people care about Snow White. And not even the critics are
No, they're bashing
like
it.
it's like, damn, this is
Well,
definitely
Trump
not
won,
cool.
so they know the jig's up. Things are
Yep.
changing.
Mhm. It is.
Thank God. But no, thank you again. Everyone go back.
Yeah.
Gemini Crusaders, links in the description and put in the chat. Go follow them. I'll add the Twitters for both David and Marinus shortly and have that updated. So go follow them. You can see the art. Get ready for new comics they promote or create. And hopefully we'll have them back on time constraint wise this coming month. I'm switching to night, so might be more feasible. I might have random like nighttime streams for America that you can be like, oh, I just got up. Hey, yeah,
that would be nice.
That'd be cool.
We have a very fun, stream. I mean, we stream about for 3 hours now, so I had a good time.
Is it like, yeah, just 1 hour? Oh my god, it's 3 hours! Wow,
Yeah.
nice.
So thank you both again, and you know what? Hopefully, till next time would be great.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
See you around. Now I'm going to go on Crusader Kings and make Germany great again.
That's a good one. All right.
Farewell.